What we do here is go back.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What's the deal, Panther fans? It's your boy, the Professor, a.k.a. Tony Dunn. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast. It's Tuesday night. It's 9 o'clock. We're here to chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. I do it with my friends and big-time Carolina Panther fans. First of all, my co-host, Cody Lashney. How you doing, my friend? My brother.
Tony,
my friend, my brother, whatever I need to say to you.
My brother from another mother, my brother in Panther fandom. What's up, man? It's another Tuesday night. I love rocking with my boys, talking about Panther football with the best Panther fans on YouTube. Underground West, Jeremy Clancy, Anthony Rochelle, Brad Dugan, Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel, Tyler Duncan, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it, but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
All right, cool. The sound is working. I'm happy about that. We've got all four beautiful faces on the screen tonight because Google Meet, who I've been icing up. Have I not been icing up Google and Skype for their slow to the party reactions, or, missing the moment when it comes to this video conferencing opportunity? Google Meet's here, so at the last moment I tried to throw together these screens, and it's okay for right now. We see maybe it's going to bring us some new opportunities to do some things in the show. So we'll see if CK wants to continue making some cool, sweet vids for us. Like those cool, sweet lights you got on that chair.
Yeah, man. I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm not so stoked about my face being up there 24/7 though, because listen, I mean,
no playing video games now. We will catch you.
Listen. I mean, sometimes it's good to be able to just not have to worry about what your face looks like on camera. So,
right.
No, yeah, it's pretty cool. I got this nice little chair I put some stuff on, got the nice little Carolina blue going on, and pretty excited to show off the new equipment and ready to roll, guys.
All right, tonight we're going to be talking about the 2020 NFL schedule, and we also have Mr. Podcast Extraordinaire Greg, the Bat Daddy, pig owner now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was just gonna say, man, if you've never known anybody that has a pig, now you do.
Now you do.
Me and my wife are animal lovers. Pig needed a good home. Mother's Day was coming up. She asked for a pig, so I got her a pig. So I'll tell you this, it's a really fun animal. It really, really is. They're super affectionate. They're super smart. 2 days just we had with her, and I've already fallen in love with her. So we're gonna start breeding them. Anybody who wants a potbelly pig, hit me up.
What do you do with it?
Whoa.
Nothing really. You can go out there and kind of play with her. You know, pet
Do you
her.
like kill it and eat it at some point?
Not a potbelly pig. I'm not doing it for meat. Like if I was gonna, I'd raise like a Yorkshire or something.
So
like
it's
that
a
if I was
pet.
gonna do it for meat, but yeah, it's a pet, and we're
Okay.
gonna breed them and then sell the.
It's a pet pig. Got it.
Yeah.
I hear you. I always wanted chickens, man, but I'm like, man, screw that. I don't want to keep up with anything. I hate my dog right now. I wanted to kill. I almost filed a animal cruelty claim on my dog today.
On your dog?
Yeah.
But your dog was the one committing the animal cruelty.
Yeah, he's a cruel animal to me.
Oh, to you.
Animal
cruelty.
You're
Yeah,
the
I mean, I
animal
guess that
he-
goes all directions. Call the animal cruelty line. Yes. I'd like to
This
report
dog
animal
is
cruelty.
big cruel to me. All right, guys, you can call into the C3 Panthers podcast. The number's 252-228-5098. Tree 50. Thank you for the support. He said, "Evening, fellas, to a good show. Like and sub." And that's what I was gonna say. Like and sub the podcast. All you got to do is turn your phone vertically, pull that little down arrow, smash that thumbs up button, smash the subscribe, or if you're on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, you're probably already subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and do that extra step. And the one extra step you can do to help this show grow is to share the link of however you're listening with a friend, one single friend. And hey, tag me in it on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. And let's get this thing going. Guys, tonight, it's a lull, a dead time in sports. UFC came back this past weekend, Cody.
Boy, did it.
Tell me a little bit about that, because until that moment, the entire sports news cycle had been dominated by the NFL. That's the first break in the NFL combine, squeezed it in, draft, made it happen, schedule reveal. Now the NFL is done for a while, it seems.
Man, the UFC, and they were going to do an event even earlier, but ESPN said that it was right during the midst of all the Corona stuff. So ESPN made them wait a little while. But yeah, man, you got to see some incredible fights. I think Francis Ngannou is probably the hardest hitting person on the face of the earth. If you watch that fight, he's a heavyweight fighter who's incredible. Everyone knows Conor McGregor, but the champion is a guy by the name of Khabib Nurmagomedov. And him and Tony Ferguson, the guy who was in the main event, they've been going back and forth for a lot of years. The UFC has tried to make them fight 5 times, and it falls out every single time until the coronavirus trapped Khabib in Russia, and they couldn't make it again. So Justin Gaethje comes in, and dude, Justin Gaethje put it on Tony Ferguson. I do not know how a human being takes that much punishment and just still stays standing and fighting. It's incredible, man. The fights were awesome. But yeah, as you can tell, I could talk about that shit for hours too. So
well, that's good
maybe
news, because there's
MMA podcast.
Yeah, there's not a lot of NFL to talk about, but so before that night that we get those fights, the NFL did like a 3-hour NFL schedule reveal, and I will admit this, I didn't watch a single moment of it.
Neither did I.
Oh, neither did I. Yeah.
Really?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
All of us thirsting for sports information, and 3 out of 4 of us didn't even care. I actually have found not having sports to somewhat be a little liberating for a little bit. Is like, I've got all this shit I got to get done in life. That's why I like NFL football so much. It's a reasonable amount of time in comparison to baseball, the NBA.
Yeah, well, even you think about the games, you think about the playoffs. I mean, these like NBA, they do series, right? You know, the World Series, you have 9 games. I mean, assuming that somebody doesn't just sweep the series, but I mean, you have an astronomical amount of just regular season games on most of these sports, and when you think about 16, possibly 17 next year, not so overwhelming at all when you think about it that way.
Well, to be fair, it's not just the 16 games. I mean, we're in the off season right now. We still do 3 hours on Tuesday nights, talking about just one
Yeah.
team of 32. So I mean, there's a lot more than I feel like. But I get what you're saying as far as just the regular season and like how long watching games is going to take you. The NFL is definitely a more ideal model than. I mean, it's easy to catch a Monday night game or a Thursday night game or a Sunday game. Set aside a couple hours to do that, but it's tough to plan around daytime games for baseball.
It's
and basketball.
easier. Yeah, it's a lot easier. And I think for me though, when we're doing this podcast in the season, we've got the Tuesday night show, we've got the post game show. We want to try to put content out there, but still, even fans, like, say you watched Sunday night football, you watch football all day on Sunday, you watch Monday night football, you watch Thursday night football, and you caught a college football game on Saturday.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a lot of time, like, and it's not like wasted time. I'm not saying it's wasted time, but it's just a lot of time where you can't do other shit. That's why me and my friend Clip, when we talk about bad football games, you know, like, Thursday night, it's the Cardinals versus the Bucks. Not the Cardinals and Bucks of this year, but of past years. And we call them good dad games. And it's where you can skip football and be a good dad.
Yeah.
You know, is that because it takes a lot of time up. So I feel like the NFL is a good amount of time. You know, I'm tired when the season's over. And I'm like, yes, now I can watch a TV show. Now I can do some crap in my garage. Now I can get a pet pig, as Greg would say.
You know what's funny about you mentioned those good dad games? There were 3 games last year I missed that were good dad games. San Francisco and both the Atlanta games, and we got slaughtered in all 3 of those. So those are my 3 good dad games last year that I missed for doing dad stuff.
It's true. So, it's true. You got to have some good dad games in there. We're going to be getting into the schedule in just a moment. Cody, the schedule reveal was 3 hours long. Thank God we had UFC after it, man. Good gosh. I didn't watch any of it, but there's nothing else to put on TV though, so you can't really fault them.
You didn't watch but you said you didn't watch the UFC fight or the schedule?
I actually didn't watch any of it. I was out.
Dude,
I went out on Saturday. I don't know why we didn't watch the UFC fight at where I was at. It would have been a perfect place to watch it. There were people there. We were having a cookout. Yeah, I don't want to say too much in case the police come crashing in on the social distancing thing.
There's another one tomorrow night, and then there's another one on Saturday night. So there's a lot of fights. They have a bunch of fights coming up.
Are they all pay-per-view?
So a lot of the cards that were canceled, they kind of got moved up. So it's a bunch of really good big name fighters on cards that matter. There are no the last one was a pay-per-view, but I believe the next 2 are fight night events. So they're on ESPN, I think, or ESPN Plus or one of those. But I do think they're going to have prelims on ESPN for both of them. I'm a huge MMA fan. And so but that's what I was going to say. Like, during this time of year, I really don't give a damn about sports anyway. Like, MMA goes all year. And then I'm into college football and Panthers football during the season. So it's like, I don't know, this doesn't feel too different for me. This is like my sports off season anyway. So, but yeah, the schedule didn't move the needle for me very much either. I didn't watch it.
All right. So I mean, if we just want to say overall, the Panthers, we didn't expect to get prime time games. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of excitement surrounding the Panthers other than Christian McCaffrey and the optimism of maybe a new regime. But I think we got one primetime game. It's a Thursday night game against the Atlanta Falcons, which
Is that the game that Teddy Bridgewater gets hurt? Since Thursday night games are when our quarterbacks get hurt.
oh man, week 8. That might be. It might be. It might really be, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Midway. I think we don't have a bye till week 13, guys.
Bring in PJ Walker.
Yeah,
right?
I mean that's
Something
perfect
alone.
though. I mean, I think it's perfect. Look, I mean, we're a bad primetime team. Like, when's the last time that we've had a season with a bunch of primetime games and it went good? It doesn't. You know, whether it's San Francisco or Green Bay or Pittsburgh, yeah, it's not. The Panthers are not good in primetime, at least not traditionally. Maybe that changes, but I don't know. This is not a very easy schedule at all. I mean, we're going to play some good teams. I don't necessarily know that, like, I wouldn't say that it's front loaded or back loaded. I actually think it's kind of evenly distributed. But yeah, I'm happy we're not in prime time. Like, we might get our ass kicked a lot this year. And I don't know if we could live down the continual embarrassment of having it be on ESPN or whatever.
Is the game plan to go game to game, Tony? Or are we going to go through each game?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to think about this is like when we look at the schedule, where we open with the Raiders, that's at home, a team
At home.
west to east, right? I'm trying to find the odds for it. It looks like the Panthers win to. All right, so over wins. We talked about this last week. Is still 5.5.
Right. They're going to win 6.
Let's see, primetime game, week 8 versus the Falcons. Super Bowl odds, it says 3rd. I don't know what that means. Let's see.
Hey, let's test this out.
I wanted to see what was the Raiders. Let's see.
Are you all able to
Hold on.
Wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
mess
I
something
can
up
see that.
for you, Tony.
I got it. Yep, hold on. Where is it?
so we're using Google Meet, so we don't know what
I got
you
it.
viewers are seeing.
Yeah, I can see this. Yeah, schedule C.
You can, but I think that I'm wondering if the
I fixed it.
Oh,
So,
yep.
man,
I just saw it
moment.
change in the YouTube chat. It looks really weird though.
It's getting fixed, guys.
now it does. Yeah, it just give him a second. I think he's gonna. Did you have to create a different scene for that, Tony?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So is it
Because
visible?
changes
There we
the
go.
whole
Now I can see it in
layout
the chat.
of the meat
Yeah.
when we do that.
Okay.
All right, so we've got the Raiders, and I want to know what I'm trying to think of what was the Raiders' record last year. What do you guys think about the Raiders? How about this? Before we even look at what their record was and what they did in the draft, what are your thoughts about the Raiders with no information? Off the top of your head.
I think that they're a middle of the pack team. There's nothing that's going to put them over the edge, in my opinion. I think that if they have a positive season, it's going to be 9-7. Again, that's based on limited information about the people that they drafted.
I 100% agree with CK there. That's almost exactly what I was going to say. Like that sounds right about the middle of the pack. 8-8, 9-7 is a good season for them. They still have a lot of money and a lot of time to build. So I give them a couple years where they might be pretty good. But
I do think that division is getting a lot better. When you look at the draft, the Raiders and the Chiefs had. I even like the Chargers draft. That AFC West division, I think it's the AFC West and the NFC South that have the most, the most loaded rosters and teams that have a legitimate case to make a playoff push.
Yeah.
And like I said, with the Raiders, I tell you what, as a Clemson fan, they love Clemson players. They took 3 players last year and this year. They had a good draft. A lot of it depends on Derek Carr. Like, a lot of people are still like, maybe the Raiders could they were in the discussion for Tom Brady. Even Cam Newton was, a name that was being thrown around. It depends on the quarterback situation there, but they don't strike fear into my heart yet. I do think they have potential to be a good football team. But, right now, especially to open the season, it's kind of a who knows, I like John Gruden, but there isn't, a lot of reason to believe that they're going to be one of the better teams in football or even at the top of their division. That is a competitive division now.
All right, Cody, let's take down the schedule, and then we'll go back to the cameras. I wanted to say that the Raiders were 7-9 last season. Just to give, here's the information. They drafted Henry Ruggs in the first round, Damon Arnett, cornerback, in the first round, 19. So they get a receiver and a corner. Lynn Bowden, third round. Brian Edwards, third round. Tanner Muse, third round. A lot of first and third rounds for them.
They moved around.
They got John Simpson in the fourth. They have a lot of picks. Amik Robertson in the fourth. Holy cow. They had 2 picks in the first, the third, and the fourth. Kicks butt right there. So I wonder who's favored here. Right?
I think,
definitely the Raiders.
The
Really?
Raiders, I think,
I would
are
assume that.
favored. I would think maybe by like 2 points, maybe 3.
And I think the question marks most people have right now, because if you recall, the media loved Teddy Bridgewater. Like, they loved him in this when he was in the
The Panthers are favored by 1.
Wow.
That's got to be the 3 points at home, right? So that's you can almost
Yeah,
look at it as
it's like a
Raiders.
pick 'em almost.
Yeah.
It's just that we don't
it's
know.
a home field advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on back to Teddy Bridgewater and the media.
Well, I was going to say, last year when he went on his 5-0 run when he was filling in for Drew Brees, I read articles where people were naming him in the MVP category. I'm not saying he was that good, and nothing in his gameplay made me believe that he was an MVP of the league, but I remember the media was definitely just building this guy up. So if the media are creating these, some of these media outlets are obviously, I guess, picking these games and everything. It's got to be the defense that is causing us to not be picked at a higher standard, right?
Yeah, probably. I think there's a lot of reasons, right? So it's a bunch of new people on offense. Yeah. It's new coaches on both sides of the football, installing a brand new offense, a brand new defense. Our defense is full of young players that are going to have to step up. Matt Rule said as much, that a lot of rookies are going to have to play meaningful snaps, which, by the way, coming from Ron Rivera, that's such a breath of fresh air that we know that our rookies are going to get meaningful snaps in which to learn and grow. But yeah, there's, where the last time I checked, I believe where the betting odds have us at having the 4th pick in the draft next year. So we're not favored against most of these football teams for the reasons I just laid out.
I'm trying to think. So now we've got, I think that may be the only game that we're going to be favored in all season. Right? Think about this, is that the Panthers, who's next on isn't that crazy?
Susan.
Dude, Susan Dean loves us
What
more
does she do?
than
Oh my gosh.
Susan definitely loves me more than some of the people in my family.
Wow.
Susan, she's the den mama. She takes care of us. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. We love you.
So the Panthers open with the Raiders at home, then they go on the road to see the Bucks. The Bucks, you don't even need to look at their record. What were they last year? I'll look it up, but they're a completely different team, you would think, now that you've added Tom Brady. Or are they a completely different team, or are they just a better team?
Well, I know in the chat room they were talking about the Bucks being overrated, and that may be the case, but I still think it's the team we have to watch out for because Christian McCaffrey was by far our biggest weapon, really only weapon last year, and they held him to 31 and 37 yards the 2 times we played him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was by far his worst production of the year the 2 times we played the Bucks.
But they sold out to stop him. Like they sold out to
Sure.
stop Christian McCaffrey. That was their game plan. And because we didn't really have much else,
But that's what they
succeeded.
could. Yeah, they were the only people that could do that.
They had a pretty good run defense last year.
Yeah.
So.
And their defense is setting up good too because they've drafted Carlton Davis. They're drafted these big, long corners. You know, in a division where you have to play guys like Michael Thomas and Julio Jones, it's understandable. So they want to stop the run and make teams throw the football. It looks like, and they have good linebackers too. So I mean, listen, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna keep it honest, man. Atlanta is such choke artists. Like I'm not putting it outside. Like I'm more fearful of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though they have all this ridiculous turnaround every year. I'm more confident in Tampa having a good season than I am Atlanta. Because how many times does Atlanta reload and then it's just the same old shit, different year from them? And pundits love them and then they never produce. So I mean, I think Tampa is going to be one of the better teams in the NFC South. Now they might not be the best, they might not be up there with the Niners and the other good teams in the NFC, but I think the Bucks are going to be a good football team.
They drafted Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield Jr., Keshawn Vaughn, Tyler Johnson, wide receiver, Khalil Davis, defensive tackle, Chappelle Russell, linebacker, Raymond Calais. Who's the best name on that list? Wirfs, Winfield, Vaughn, and not obviously you would think your first round one would be the first name, Cody, but
most
Tristan
impactful.
Wirfs was a great pick for them. The fact that they needed offensive line to protect Tom. I mean, the dude is a physical freak. I mean, the Iowa weight room is legendary, and Tristan Wirfs is legendary in that weight room. So, he's a physical freak. The dude, is 315 plus pounds. That's what you needed to protect the quarterback like Tom Brady. And with the drop back offense that Bruce Arians runs, they had to have that. So they even traded up. They traded up with San Francisco to get Tristan Wirfs. So, I mean, they have a good team. I don't really know a whole lot about some of the other players. I studied a few of them. I have some notes on them, but I've used certain players more than others. And I just know that they already had a decent roster. And I'm just looking at that quarterback coach combo and just saying, you can't sleep on that, dude. Bruce Arians, Tom Brady, like that is a legitimate.
Rob Gronkowski, OJ Howard, Mike Evans, Godwin. Right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the over/under on wins is 9.5.
See,
I feel like that's low.
I agree.
I can see a world where they can go 12-4, 13-3, but I can also see a world where they go 4-12. Or 5-11. So I mean, I think personally they'll probably go more towards the higher side of that. They'll probably be a 10+ win team. I feel, but I can definitely see a world where they
have a hard schedule. They have to play. They play the Saints, the Panthers, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Bears, the Packers, the Raiders, the Giants. Back to the division, Rams, Chiefs. They got the Rams and the Chiefs. All right, so our division, they do have kind of a tough schedule. They have the Lions. This is going backwards now. I'll give you out of division opponents. Chargers, Broncos, Packers, Bears, Raiders, Giants, Chiefs, Rams. Dude, they're going to be on every primetime. Let me see how many primetime games they got.
Oh, well, Tom Brady, I'm sure they're a lot. They're going to have the option to flex into one.
The Giants, the Raiders, that's
Brady,
1, 2, 3.
Brady and Gronk both going to Tampa Bay. Yeah, they were gonna. That's what they were gonna do, no matter what.
They have 4 primetime games.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And is week 1? I know they have one of the primetime games is going to be Breeze and Brady.
Ooh, let me
I know
see.
that much for sure.
Maybe
And
I
then
missed
I think
one.
People were highlighting some of ours. They
Yeah,
said
the Saints that they're 11-8. They're at 8:20.
yeah.
So what is that?
The-
That's probably Sunday night, 8:20, or is that Monday Night Football? That might be Monday Night Football.
8:20.
Sure.
Yeah, kickoff is 8:20. 11-8.
Monday
What day
night.
of the week is that? I guess is the idea. So the Bucks primetime highlights. The team, a lot of expectations.
You said August 20th?
No, November 8th. It is November 8th.
The 29th is a Sunday, so
November 8th. Sorry, at 8:20. 8:20.
Sunday night.
8:20.
8:20 p. Let's see. November is that.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night.
Yeah, 11-8. So Sunday night against the Saints. That'll be a fun game. So what else do the Panthers got next on their schedule? Looks like
After Tampa,
they've got the Chargers on the road. The Chargers. So Raiders home. At home, you're favored by 1 point. Your dogs likely have to be against the Buccaneers. On the road against the Chargers with a stout defense.
golly, yeah.
That's a tough matchup right now. I would not be interested in putting money on the Panthers in that one.
You know what? It'll be interesting to see. Oh, I forget they're opening the new stadium. Never mind. I was about to say if they were still playing in the soccer stadium, it would be a good test of seeing how many Panther fans are in Los Angeles. Because all last season, every other team that came to them, it was run over with fans of the opposing team. So I'd be interested to see how many fans they're able to get in there for the Rams and the Chargers this year. But
the other thing about this is that LA, from what I've heard, is the least interested in relaxing the COVID stuff.
Yeah, their mayor is a moron. Everybody talks shit about him.
Really?
Gavin Newsom.
But the question is, can they even play that game in LA there in September?
I think if we're playing football by that time, everybody's got to be on board.
September 27th. God help us if that's still the case going into almost October. Jesus, dude. Like, I don't know, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a good point.
Let me ask you all this. Who's going to be the starter for that game? Tyrod Taylor or Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
You think so?
I think so. I think Tyrod Taylor's going to get the same thing he got last year. Or was it last year or the year before with Cleveland?
With Baker Mayfield? Yeah, with Baker Mayfield.
Same exact thing.
And you know what?
The second the team falters, he's gone. I hate that for him too.
And it was the third game of the season too, when the Browns played the Jets and Baker had to go in. Yeah, that's a tough. And look, they got Derwin James back healthy. I mean, they've just added pieces to that football team. They moved up to draft Kenneth Murray, who outside of Isaiah Simmons was my number 1 rated inside linebacker prospect in this year's draft. I mean, Kenneth Murray's nasty. And you know, I like that football team. I like what they're doing. Trey Turner is over there now. I think their offensive line is probably only the real question right now. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That division, that AFC West, you know, when you look at Denver and who they're getting back and the defense of all these different teams, of course you have Kansas City. Man, it's hard to imagine beating any of those AFC West teams, to be honest, just not knowing what our defense is going to look like.
All right, so we're 3 games in. The Raiders, the Bucks, and the Chargers. Greg, which one of the Panthers win out of those 3? Let me ask you that.
Raiders, Bucks,
I'm about to.
Chargers.
We got to count these 6 games up.
Okay, that's right. We're gonna get 6 win. I gotta get 6 to win 10. Like I said, I didn't bet
All
that
right.
believing they would do it. I bet it because it was an
Okay.
easy bet.
So are you saying 0
They
of
got to win
these?
one of those 3.
You
No,
can
I'm
say
betting
the
they
Raiders.
beat the Raiders.
You say the
Home
Raiders.
opener.
So they start
Raiders.
1 and 2. The win against the Raiders. The Panthers then come back across the country, dragging the Redbirds along with them. The Cardinals, they host the Cardinals on October 4th at 1 o'clock. The Cardinals, though, are my team. They're the team for me that is going to replace the Buffalo, the Tampa, the past, that I always was like, I think they're going to be something this year. That's the Cardinals to me. I am now on the Cardinals bandwagon right now. So I think the Panthers have their work cut out for them that week. Do you think? I wonder if the Panthers are favored in that game. They can't be. But guys, the Cardinals are an exciting team. They with the big news and the trade of who'd they get rid of?
Hopkins,
Yeah,
with David Johnson.
And little Kyler Murray is the toast of the town. He's so adorable out there, dropping dimes.
Adorable.
He is adorable, but he actually slings it like a mofo, which is the thing.
He does.
He just is like dropping the shit all over the place.
Robert Griffin. That's what he's gonna be.
Nope, you could not be
more.
more. You couldn't be more wrong.
I think he could. What if he's
Can't
better
play
than
that position,
Patrick
that's small.
Mahomes,
Can't do
dude? He could be
No, but
better
see,
than
here's the
Patrick
difference.
Mahomes.
But here's the difference. Robert Griffin would run right into the teeth of the defense. When you look at Kyler Murray play, yeah, he's little, dude. Some of your kids might be bigger than Kyler.
He's cute. He's cute.
But I tell you what, dude, the guy knows where the out of bounds marker is. He does not. He does not take big hits. He does not have the Cam Newton problems of not knowing when to slide. Kyler, I'm with Tony on this. I think Kyler Murray. We've seen this trend of second-year quarterbacks turning it on and having these incredible seasons. Patrick Mahomes did it, and then Lamar Jackson. You have Kyler Murray going into his second year into that playbook, into that system. I think you have another MVP type candidate in Kyler Murray should he take that next step. I think that's going to be a dynamic offense. Remember, they have DeAndre Hopkins now, Larry Fitzgerald.
Boy, Leonard on defense. Too. Not Leonard. Who's the guy?
Isaiah Simmons.
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're I don't know the exact makeup of their defense, but their offense looks on paper to be able to score with anyone. So that's going to be a real tough out for our defense, and it's going to test our backfield more than anything. Can our corners cover? Because we're going up against some of the best of the best.
Okay.
I'm worried. I think they could be a dark horse team, and I don't know if that is disrespecting them or not. But this is going to be a tough matchup for the Cardinals because they're traveling. Let's see where they are. There's games. Come on. Oh, that's last year. All right. Okay. So they are coming off a home game with the Lions. So they start out they are on the road against the Niners. They host the Redskins. They host the Lions. So they're on a 2-game home streak, and then they go on the road to play the Panthers. The Lions and the Cardinals, I'm actually going to be interested in that game because do you remember the Lions were beating that ass last year against the Cardinals and then let them come back in the third or the fourth quarter and it ended in a tie? Like it was like 20-0 and they tied. So the Cardinals, though, right there, you think this is the Cardinals can beat the Redskins. The Cardinals could beat the Lions. They could be 2-1 coming in to Carolina. And that game tells us a little bit about their team. If they, it could be an opportunity for them to slip. but the Panthers are a must-win for them. And when I say a must-win, that's not the right words. Like, they should beat them, but it could be an opportunity for them to fall asleep. You've seen teams do that all the time.
Michael Jones in the chat says Brian Burns will chase Kyler out of the pocket all day long. I'm predicting 3 picks in front of the home crowd.
Wow.
Says Michael Jones.
Joe Riolano also in the house. What's up, my brother Joey?
Joe, wait.
He said my kid is as big as Murray. He's only 14.
All right.
I bet he's bigger than Murray, to be honest.
Yeah. It's not hard to be bigger than Kyler.
True. All right. So the Carolina Panthers then on the road, back on the road. So home game, road game, home game, road game, home game, road game. Falcons, 1:00, October 11th. The Panthers' second division match of the season. Right here, Greg, are you saying this is that the Panthers at this point are 1-3 on the road against the Falcons? And
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Because they would have to beat. So you think they're going to beat the Cardinals at home?
I do. I think they're gonna be the Cardinals, and I think they have a chance.
Making them 2-2 to start the season. I like it.
Planting them seeds, man.
So how about this? Is this going to be our first victory in Mercedes-Benz Stadium or whatever the hell they call it? The Panthers have not won in Atlanta in their new stadium yet.
Yeah, but they've only been there 1 year, right?
Well, I'm still saying, okay, we haven't done it.
We played one game there.
No, it's not been one. It's been
I think it's been
2017.
Is it 17? It might be. I don't know.
I think it was 17.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were good. Okay. Yeah, they had the opportunity to open up. They could have won the Super Bowl, which they didn't. And then they could have opened up their season with the next season in their new stadium. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was 2017. But yeah, we have not won in that stadium yet.
You're listening to the C3 Panther. You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. The number's 252-228-5098. We're breaking down the schedule at this point. We're in week 1, 2, 3, 4. The Panthers on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. Go ahead, Greg, with your thoughts. And then CK, after Greg goes, segue into the Panthers' next game, which would be the Bears at home. I'm going to refresh my drink.
We'll do.
Well, I was just going to say, Cody, what you're saying, we're 0-4 there, which means statistically we're due for a win there. I mean, because the odds of us going 0-5 there are a lot less than the odds of us going 1-4. So it's very rare to lose 5 games, or more rare to lose 5 games in a row in one spot than it is to win one of those 5 games. All I'm saying. So by the odds, we should win that. So.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead, CK. No, go ahead, CK.
No, you're good, man.
I was just gonna say, Atlanta, they loaded up. I mean, Todd Gurley, they've added more pieces. All the names kind of escape me at the moment, but I know that they got some players in. Again, they're being talked up. You're talking about Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan. That same kind of. The normal.
They do every year.
And again, I keep on coming back to this, man. Like, I feel like every year the Falcons are always hyped up like they're going to be one of the better teams in the NFC South. They're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And they just have not been a consistent football team since Kyle Shanahan left. And, I mean, listen, Falcons fans were certain that Dan Quinn was being kicked to the curb. Like what? Not even midway through the season last year?
Yeah.
I mean, so you're talking about, this is one thing we know for sure. With Tom Brady now in the division, the Saints have run roughshod over this division for the past few years in a row. Everyone's like, well, what are you going to do, Atlanta? Like, they have something to prove. They have new outfits. They're trying to do this brand new thing. And, I mean, a lot is on the line for a lot of people in that Falcons organization, from the coaching staff all the way up to the front office. So regardless of whatever you want to say about the Falcons, this is going to be a hungry football team. They're going to want to continue to make statements at home against a division rival.
Well said.
Well, I guess that does transition us to the other one when we talk about the next game, which is going to be the Bears. And that's going to be a home game based on what Tony just said. It should be an interesting one because they're going to be in a similar situation with a quarterback limbo. And the reality of the situation is there is a very high possibility, depending upon how things go, that Cam Newton is their quarterback at that point in time.
Could be, man. I mean, how many of you would be confident in Nick Foles to be your starter? And I don't know.
They've already written off Trubisky. They've already declined his 5th-year option. So they've already essentially told Trubisky, "You're not the future. We know that now. You had one good year, and that was, that was it. There was nothing else. There's nothing else that we're looking at that tells us that you are the guy of the future."
They're putting out this line that it's a competition between Nick Foles and Mitch.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like, they traded for Nick Foles. So that means the contract that the Jaguars agreed to pay Nick Foles, like, they decided to take that on. Like, I don't know, man. That's just crazy.
You think Cam Newton takes if let's say it's because that's what week 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Week 6. Yeah.
No.
Let me ask you guys: 3 weeks into the season, the Bears are 0-3. Foles has played 2 games and has been garbage. Trubisky came in and did absolutely nothing. Do they hire Cam Newton week 4?
It's a lot.
How do you not, man? I mean, listen, that's it, with Cam Newton, that's a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone thought that the
Exactly.
Bears were going to be a Super Bowl team the past 2 years in a row. Khalil Mack. I mean, dude, they have so many different Eddie Jackson.
Name the Super Bowl roster. I want to hear it.
Well, I do want to point this out.
3 or 4 good players, but I don't see a Super Bowl roster.
They have a bunch of players on defense and offense. Like, they were always a quarterback away. But the fact that they don't have that quarterback, like, I mean, in my mind, that could be a winnable game for us if their defense isn't just absolutely disgusting.
Do the Bears have any single offensive player that's in a top 10 player in his position?
Allen Robinson.
Okay, one.
But again,
Tariq Cohen.
I just don't see it as a super. Wide receivers never win you a Super Bowl, so
yeah. But you would never say that about Carolina either. When we've had Kyle Allen throwing the football to them, like,
well, we had DJ Moore, who was a top 5 receiver. We had Christian McCaffrey, who was a top 2 running back.
They have a Tariq Cohen, who is a very explosive running back. They have another guy. Who's the other running back that they have back there? I can't remember his name.
David Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery. He turned it on there towards the end of the season. So he put his name in the running for I'm not going to say top 10, but he put his name in there for a very good running back in this league.
Dude, they've got Jimmy Graham. I mean, guys,
I just don't
watch
see them
out.
as a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl team.
All right, I think that's fair. They have a really good defense.
Yeah,
they have a Super Bowl caliber defense.
Did you hear the question, Tony?
No. Oh, yes. Okay. If Cam Newton,
if they're 0-3, both of their quarterbacks have played at least one game and just not shown anything, not one thing. Do you wait? At what point is it too late to make a change at quarterback?
That might be the week, to be honest. I think you're right, because look, this is the Bears' schedule. They are on the road against the Lions. Okay, the Lions, but there's so much money on the table for both teams there.
Yeah. Okuda is there now, and so it's tough for them to be able to actually throw the ball to their. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough outing for
right. Like the Bears are going to have to come out sharp to win that game. So say that's a possible loss. They've got the Giants. They're at home against the Giants. So say they split that. They win one of those games. The Bears then go on the road against the Falcons, and they host the Colts. I could see them losing, starting 1-3 there, right? At the very best, I think. They're 1-3, and then they have to host the Bucks before the Panthers. They could be 1-4 hosting the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
It might be. What about this? What if the Carolina Panthers are the ones that go on the road and beat the Bears, forcing them to go get Cam Newton?
But what I'm saying is, if it's week 3, one of what you missed,
like, how long are they going to wait? Is like,
how long do they wait before they hire Cam Newton? Because, like, if I'm Cam Newton, here's my thing.
Well, if they lose against the Giants, if they start 0-3, you might see him in week 4.
Yeah, that's
2
what I'm
games
saying. If they
before
start out that way,
yeah.
Because guess what? You don't think Cam Newton's going to take a discount to come back just to be able to play us in a couple of weeks?
Oh God.
Because that's what I'm saying, man. Like that's going to be. I could see. We're all just kind of fishing here. I'm just putting out the idea that
that's what we need right now. This is the best. That's the best comment anybody can make in this show, is because it's setting up that narrative. And similar to, do you remember when Julius Peppers came back as a Green Bay Packer, or was he with the Bears still when he shushed Cam? Remember?
No, that was the Packer.
And then he kicked the ball or whatever out into the stands or something like that, or took it away from some. But
Cam Newton just scored a touchdown. He was trying to get the ball from Julius, and Julius said no, and just tossed it over to the referee.
So you could see a Cam Newton. Where would they be? Coming to Carolina and doing those. Imagine Cam Newton doing the Superman celebration in Bank of America in a Bears jersey.
And then
like talk about a discount. Like he may, like these teams are going to wait long enough. Bill, that's one of the things I think about Bill Belichick, with him waiting it out and them doing this. He's just waiting. He's like, I'm gonna get this guy for free. That's his thought.
I know he is. Yeah, they're definitely getting Cam Newton. That's who my money is on.
I'll make a very bold statement here, and I will say the Panthers win that game too, which on my schedule gives them 3 in a row, unless they get Cam Newton. Cam Newton in a revenge game. I don't think we win that game.
Oh, Cam Newton's going to slaughter us.
I've got to have that little caveat there. So I'll give them a win. Carolina a win against the Bears, as long as they don't have Cam Newton.
So that makes them 3-3.
That makes them 3-2 in my book. Or excuse me, 4-2 in my book.
4-2.
No, they win against the Raiders, they win against the Cardinals, and they win against the Bears. 3-3.
Yeah. And Atlanta. Oh, I said Atlanta.
Oh, you think they're going to go on the road and beat Atlanta?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
4-2. Wow, Greg getting
4-2.
All right, so then
we got a long season. We got a long season.
Hold on. So in my count right now, we're 2-4.
Okay.
In my count, we're 0-6.
Yeah, I like your count.
I still think that if the Panthers win, if they don't win week 1, they could go winless. Right, so if you lose against the Raiders,
that happens,
so you go against the Raiders, you lose that game at home, deflating, team isn't looking sharp. Then you got to play the Bucks. Then you got to play the fucking Chargers on the road. The Cardinals come in hot, maybe. This is the worst case scenario, but all of a sudden you're 0-4 there. Then you got to go on the road against the Falcons. That could be 0-5. Hosting the Bears with Cam Newton as the quarterback, 0-6. Right? Then the Panthers have to go on the road to the Saints. 0-7. Right there.
Is anyone in their right mind picking Carolina in week 7?
That's the Teddy Bridgewater revenge game, man. Of course.
There you go. Yeah. If Cam Newton can do it, then so can Teddy Bridgewater.
No, don't.
Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That's a false equivalency.
It's a scary concept, but one of the things I wanted to ask you, and I have 2 points here. I sent you guys that I could have gotten a group rate discount on the single tickets I started to look at them, and I just did not find interest in going to any games. Do you guys agree with that? Like, is there any game right now on that calendar you feel like you would want to go to at Bank of America Stadium?
I think. At Bank of America. If Cam is a Bear, I will go to that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. I would pay to go see a game if Cam was a Bear.
I mean, your choices are Raiders, Cardinals, Bears, Falcons, Bucks, Lions, Broncos, Saints.
Yeah.
Like none of the. I mean, maybe the weather might still be kind of okay, nice in October. Go see Kyler Murray and Isaiah Simmons. Like that might be the only one that I would,
God, say that one
anyone
more
that's
time.
gonna be worth
Look,
the
as CK said this, is that he was trying to get last year, how many games did we get? 4?
We went to 4, yeah.
Like right now, we can't even find one we want to go to.
No.
You guys are a little bit younger than me, so you might not know the Wayne's World reference, but
I know Wayne's World.
What am I gonna do with a gun rack? What am I gonna do with a gun rack? I don't even own a gun, let alone enough guns to necessitate an entire rack. I don't even want to go to a game, let alone. Oh, hold on.
What's he got here?
Tank.
Fuel it up, baby.
Hold on. You did that. You changed. You gotta tell me.
Fuck her up, baby.
Guys, I'll be
I
right
don't know.
back.
I didn't know I have to tell you. Does it mess everything up? I don't
It
know.
does.
I think it's relevant because
Where is? Here it is. I got it.
Because I don't know what.
Yeah, you got to give me a heads up because I got to change it on my end
Okay. Yeah,
for the
no,
stream.
my bad. I didn't know. Fuel the tank, baby. That should stay my picture.
Who did that?
Oh man.
You gotta love Photoshop because that looks like is super hard, but it's really probably not.
That's what she said.
Oh. Okay, close that out, Cody.
But what I was saying, I wanted to say that before we started the show, I said I was going to wait for something to say. The fact that it feels as though we're being set up for a bad season, right? We have one of the worst, we have one of the hardest records in the NFL. Like if you look at win record last year, and a lot of the teams that are making our win record not any higher improved drastically over this off season. So we have a situation where with the Raiders coming to town, first game as a Las Vegas institution, I can't see. I mean, I know that maybe that's
a possible game, though. That it's possible. It's not even. It's possible. I don't think we should be favored right now, but we really don't know a ton about their defense. You're still.
Couldn't you see?
Anytime Daryl Worley is a fixture, is a fixture of their defense.
Yeah. But couldn't you see this being the year John Gruden puts everything together? The pieces finally come together. Last year, they had a wrench in the gears because of the Antonio Brown. They did not have a full season of actually full off season of preparing. I guess nobody does this season either. But, I could see them coming in and they're Las Vegas now. And so they've got to be able to come out swinging to get people interested in coming to
But
this
if
game,
this was
right?
in Las Vegas, I would buy more into that. I think the only thing that's helping us here is that it's at home.
If the Raiders lose to the Panthers at the first game of the season,
oh my god, right? Yeah, good point. That's a great point.
It is going to be crap for the rest of the because
imagine how red Chucky will be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just think about it. I mean, if we beat them. The Raiders fans in Oakland are going to go crazy. Like, see, you guys still aren't even good, But even people wanting to go and see them at the new venue, and I don't even think it's going to be built this year. Is it?
I don't think
sure.
so.
Yeah. No, the Vegas Stadium and the
LA
Chargers
Stadium.
and the Rams Stadium are opening up this year.
They are okay.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, I just wasn't sure with this whole thing if they were still able to actually continue constructing it or not.
That's a great question. And I heard too, I was listening to a national syndicate show today in the car on the radio, and they were talking about how, I mean, obviously Las Vegas is more interested in relaxing the COVID stuff because their economy is so centered around groups of people
going out. Yeah.
While Los Angeles is taking a more conservative approach to the reopening, and he was talking about at what point are people from Los Angeles, all those millions, like that 39 million people that live there, just so itching to go have a good time that they
go to Vegas.
Yeah, they just drive to Vegas.
Well, I've heard that it's a lot of the warmer climates. Like I've heard Arizona is very laxed on it too, because I think I was listening to another podcast and somebody came on from Arizona who actually plays for the Cardinals, or at least played for the Cardinals last year, AQ Shipley, and he was talking about how nothing has changed down there. Like everybody has the belief that the virus can't survive in the heat, and so everybody down there is just like living life like normal.
The stadium is going to be the Allegiant Stadium. It cost $1.8 billion, by the way. Started construction November 13th, 2017. Expected to be completed July 2020. But that's timelines that we don't know how affected by the COVID climate.
Yeah.
But I tell you this, is that if there's any group of people who don't quit working, it's construction people.
Yeah,
they work all the time. You know what I'm saying? You look at Easter and mugs or damn roofing houses and shit.
And mailmen. Hey, just adding to what CK was saying there about them in Arizona, talking about things not being different. Look, I'm in North Carolina, and I'm out every day, and I can tell you, it does not, besides not being able to go to a restaurant.
Which is bullshit, because for restaurants, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe other than that, like
I bet you can go to the comic book shop now.
Well,
now they open retail.
Well, I haven't tried to go.
The reason you can't go to the comic book shop is because they went out of business before COVID.
Well,
how many comic book shops open and close?
Buy physical media, y'all. But no, other than that, man,
why?
It's really been no different because physical media is so much better, man. I'm sorry, I'm a collector, but physical media is so much better than digital.
Such a waste of money.
I still have digital media on some things, but physical media is so
Tony,
much
how dare you? If you still had some of those 1980s comics that you didn't give a shit about, you'd be a millionaire right now. What the hell are you talking about?
I have a couple. Man, that's bullshit. First of all, that's not true.
Dude,
it's not true. I got some comics. I got some comics in the attic in my mom's house, I bet. But I promise you that, like, I got that number, where Venom was on the cover of Spider-Man for the first time or something like that. But that shit, there's like a billion.
Let me get that off you, Tony.
There's a billion copies of that shit.
Yeah. If it's not worth that much, then give it to me or Greg.
Yeah.
Put your money
I'm not going in my mom's attic. Man, if I go in my mom's attic, she's gonna make me clean that shit out.
Yeah. But no, all I'm saying is nothing is different where I'm at. Other than that, for me at least, I go to work every day. Walmart, Target, all CVS, grocery stores. Everything's still open. If I want to go to a restaurant, I can still go. I can still get food from there.
I go to the grocery store almost every day. It feels like, with a family of 5. I went to Lowe's twice today.
Yeah, exactly. I go to the hardware store at least 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, I mean it's not any different for me, at least, on anything going on. I just can't go sit down at a restaurant and eat.
Well, you know those, if that's which is bullshit, and the construction workers, they're working like crazy. So the Panthers then, what were we at? The Bears? What's next? The Panthers then, with the Bears.
We were at Saints. Yeah, that's a loss.
Saints.
I mean, do we even
then the Falcons.
No.
So the Falcons, so the Saints.
Lost.
Do you think? Here's my question. There is one question about the Saints, Cody, and that is: are they better, or are they plateau? Like, or are they the same? And really, the problem with the New Orleans Saints for the last couple of years is that they have been the same. Not in the way that their actual team is built. Their defense got better. But they just haven't had enough to get over the hump. You know. So are the Saints again in a position this year that they're a 12-4 team, 11-5 team, but then can't get to the big dance?
No, they did, and I'm so bad with names nowadays. They just signed another receiver, the guy that was with Denver. What was his name?
Oh,
Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders.
So you have Emmanuel Sanders on.
That's a good pickup.
Yeah, no, that is a great pickup. I mean, listen, they got rid of Larry Warford, but they have a really highly graded center prospect.
Ted Ginn is a Bear too, isn't he?
Yeah. Ted Ginn's not on their team anymore.
I think he's a Bear. What? Oh, CK Cam Newton to Ted Ginn drop.
Bro.
How about this? Is that's the the only time I will ever cheer against Cam Newton is if he's in Bank of America throwing an 80-yard bomb to Ted Ginn. I'm gonna be, come on, Stonehands. Come on, Stonehands.
You're not cheering against Cam. You're cheering against Ted, though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I will tell you, one of the prettiest passes I have ever seen live was Cam Newton to Ted Ginn.
I know. Was it that one in the back of the end zone where he caught it on his fingertips and it was like, there's no way he's in bounds.
That was a good one. There was one I can't even remember who they were playing, man. He threw right down the seam. He probably threw it 40 yards, and there were two guys right there, man. I had no idea how Ted Ginn came out of this with the ball, but he never stopped. Like it was never a situation where he got hit or whatever. Like he ran through these two guys and somehow untouched came out with the ball, and it was perfect. A perfect pass. I'm gonna find that and put it on here because that's the best pass I've ever seen in football.
So the Panthers 0-8 start. Brad Dugan says in the chat with back-to-back losses against the Saints and so here. The Panthers hosting the Falcons in prime time. That doesn't give you guys any.
That's a loss.
This is the second win. I say we're 2-6 here. We win this game because we're a team that's built for Thursday night football. Thursday night football is always awful. It's fucking horrendous. The teams never play well. The games are always a shit show. And that's exactly what the Panthers are built for. The Panthers win here 17-12 or some shit like that.
No. We're playing Atlanta on a short week after coming off the road from New Orleans. Nah, dude. Look.
Prime time.
Let's see who the Falcons would be playing that week.
The Panthers are such a disappointment in prime time. I don't know, man. That just doesn't seem like a recipe for success.
The Falcons are coming off a home game against the Lions. You're right. I mean, you got some good points there, Cody.
Yeah,
some
man.
Good points.
Yeah, dude, they're going to be riding a little bit of momentum. We're coming off of a short week against the Saints on the road.
So are you saying we're 0-8 then?
Well,
or 1-7? Because I said 2-6. So if I'm out of my mind, then you've got to be 1-7 or 0-8.
I'm looking at 5-4. Excuse me. I'm sorry. 4-5.
Okay, I was about to say.
Wait. No, 4. Wait, 4-4. I'm sorry. We're only game 8. 4-4. What am I looking at?
Oh my goodness.
Rose-colored
glasses, Greg. All right.
4-4.
So the Panthers then here, if you didn't think that sucked, hosting.
I think we're 2-6. 2-6 is what I think we are.
That's what I said. Who's the wins then?
I think we'll win week 1 against the Raiders, and I think we'll squeak one out against the Bears.
Okay. So things continue to look the same because the Panthers are on the road against the Saints. Then they host the Falcons on Thursday Night Football. And then on November 8th, they got to go on the road to face the Kansas City Chiefs, followed by the Buccaneers. Oh, my goodness.
What you're saying is we have a chance.
No. Not
saying there's
yeah.
a chance.
What I'm saying is we have a chance for Greg to pay me $10, and we have a chance for us to get Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no, I honestly, the more we talk about this schedule, I see that more and more of a possibility. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't
agree.
think the layout of the schedule helped us at all. Like, I don't think
No.
like there has been the part of it that I am slightly concerned about is the winnable games are all home games, meaning that we're more likely to win those.
Yep.
And so we could find ourselves in a situation where we kind of get screwed out of the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes, but or any of the good quarterbacks, I guess you could say. But I don't know. It's such a hard thing to predict because when you think about it, if Teddy Bridgewater is who they believe that he is, I mean, our coaching staff to sign him to the deal that they signed him up to, our offense should be sitting pretty well, assuming they can get that offensive line in order. It's just the question mark of the defense, and it sounds like we've filled up a good amount of the holes that we had, but with a lot of question marks. So,
all right. So this is the Chiefs are week 9. CK, is Teddy Bridgewater still playing at that point?
So
week 9.
It depends upon his health. I think that if he's healthy,
is he healthy in week 9?
Is he still alive in week 9?
I
think so. I think he makes it in week 9.
He is, because I think that our offensive line finds a way to hold up. But I don't think it's going to be easy. I think he's going to be on the ground a lot. It's just a matter of.
I saw him post on Instagram that he rode like 72 miles on his bike the other day. So I like that. I'm rooting for Teddy. He's almost like too lovable. Like, you know what I'm saying?
His name is Teddy.
Yeah, you're right. So then, so the Chiefs on the road against the Chiefs, the Panthers got to then come home and host Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And then, then they get the Lions at home. Now, the Lions at home for the Panthers at this point should be a loss on paper, right? But you don't know what's going to happen with Matt Stafford, right?
Yeah,
we don't know what his health will be. If we're worried about Teddy Bridgewater's health, you got to be worried about Matt Stafford's as well. They are a better squad than us right now, pound for pound.
So this is so you know how you had this like weird hatred toward Phillip Rivers, and you're like the guy is like, I'm tired of hearing about this guy. Like, I'm the same way with Matt Stafford, dude. Like, Matthew Stafford is such a nothing burger. Like, they always talk about.
He threw 5,000 yards like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, so who gives a shit? He hasn't won a single playoff game in like 12 fucking years. Like, the dude is so overhyped. The narrative is always, if you put a team around Matthew Stafford, he's gonna be good. But dude, now they have 2 good running backs. Like, I don't know, man. It's hard to know what this Lions team is gonna be like. But I don't know, dude. I'll say
they got Desmond Trufant now.
Third win of the season.
They got Desmond Trufant, Jeff Okudah, right? Let's see who else.
Yeah, but is their defensive line going to be that much better? I mean, I know they signed Trey Flowers.
So they have Deshaun Hand, right? Isn't he pretty good? Trey Flowers. They've got let's see. Any other names up here that ring a bell?
I think that's a very winnable football. That might be the last winnable football game late in the season for Carolina, in my opinion. I think that's a winnable game.
Let's see. Their D tackles are Jashawn Cornell, John Pentinini, Shelton. I don't know his name. I can't say it right. I don't know any of their defensive tackles. Nick Williams, Kevin Strong. All right, so Kevin Strong wears number 92. Here are numbers beside their name, so I guess that there's their and Jonathan Wynn. Jonathan Wynn, I feel like I've heard that name before from Vanderbilt. When it comes to
none of those names really move the needle for me. Like,
see, running back Ty Johnson, Kerryon Johnson, Bo Scarborough, and they just got DeAndre Swift. So Swift can be a nuisance. Danny Amendola, Kenny Galladay, and Marvin Jones. They're all right. You're right. It shouldn't strike fear in us. But that's a game. The Panthers, I think that goes back to what CK is saying, is the games that the Panthers could possibly win. The problem is they're at home. The Lions at the Panthers, because then the Panthers go on the road to face the Vikings, and then host the Broncos. I don't know if the Vikings have gotten better fast enough for me. They lost Linval Joseph, who's a former ECU player. He went to San Diego on to join that tough defense. They left Stephon Diggs.
But they did add another weapon at that position.
They drafted Justin Jefferson from LSU.
Mm-hmm. What's that going to do for their team, Cody?
Well, I mean, that's going to open them. He had like over almost 1,500 yards receiving, 14 touchdowns. I mean, again, he was a part of that crazy LSU team. So, I think they should be able to seamlessly transition from Stephon Diggs to Justin Jefferson and not be able to lose a beat. I mean, it's one of those things where, what's their head coach's name? Zimmer? Is it Mike Zimmer? Yeah, dude, I just respect the hell out of that dude. Like, I feel like his rosters are always kind of up and down, but dude, his defense is always like, they always have a legitimate defense. Always. Even in bad
years. He's a lot
years,
sort of like a Ron Rivera, but probably we think he's cooler.
Yeah.
Like you know why we like him? Why I like him is because what was it when they asked him about the status of the kicker and he was like, ask me tomorrow, and then they cut him or some shit like that. Do you remember he did something about that field goal kicker, and he was like, and they asked him a question after the game, and he just was like, you'll know tomorrow. And then Mug was cut like when he walked out the door. He is a badass, and I think he's kind of a tough coach. I think we always respect him because the Vikings, in some years that we thought the Panthers were going to be good, came in and knocked us on our head. And not over the top, like beat us down, like at the point category, but physically beat us. You remember, they're the ones that put Michael Orr in the concussion protocol.
Dude, they beat the hell out of
and they just physically beat us. We played that one game where it was like 12-9 or whatever, and the ball, it was like -7. Do you remember? And they said like kicking the football was like kicking a cinder block.
Ugh.
That type of thing. So here, the Panthers, so we're on the road against the Chiefs, then we host the Bucks, then we're against the Lions, hosting the Lions, then on the road against the Vikings, then hosting the Broncos.
I say after the Vikings,
the Broncos could be a win at home. Again, this falls in the CK category of a winnable game at home.
Oh, I disagree completely.
Why?
I don't think they're going to.
Why?
No,
you don't think it's winnable? You don't think we come in here maybe dogs by like 2 points?
They have Von Miller coming back. They have Nick Chubb coming back. They I don't have their draft in front of me, but they drafted some good defensive players. They have, so remember,
they drafted a wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. Was that who went to?
Yeah, no. They got Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy, that's who it was.
Yeah, so they got Jerry Jeudy, then they got KJ Hamler. They went wide receiver. This is some John Elway shit. Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, and then Michael Ojemedia. Lloyd Cushenberry,
And that's another.
Like
I was
Cushenberry's a
high
good
on
pickup.
him.
Yep.
And so this is another thing to think of
McTelvin
too, like,
again.
the Denver Broncos are in that division with the Kansas City Chiefs. And what do the Kansas City Chiefs do? They put up a ridiculous amount of points. So they went offense, and they have a big arm quarterback in Drew Lock going in his second year. And, they feel like if he can take another step, that might be their own version of Patrick Mahomes. They want to attack downfield. Noah Fant, they have on their team, the tight end from Iowa that they drafted, not this past draft, but the one before. I mean, they're going to have a decent offense, because they have to compete in that AFC West division. So, that's another loss in my opinion.
Brad Dugan says 2-12. I'm with you. Brad Dugan. I think just mark me down for that.
Yeah.
For the season.
Also in the chat, man.
2-14 is what I think.
Yeah. Also in the chat, was it Tyler Lovato has called out Panthers got out of series. He's going to put $20 on the line to the show if the Panthers win 7 games. So loser donates $20. That's interesting. I like
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know what? We're winners.
Do that.
Exactly.
Bet that. We'll all get lights like CK.
There you go.
So
Where
the
we at,
Panthers then, after hosting the Broncos, in which is a possible game, but Cody's made it sound more difficult. Yeah, a lot of faith in Drew Lock there, but he did look pretty good. He wasn't bad. So
and they're too. They got Nick Chubb coming back.
Yeah, but I feel like this is anytime a team you see them go so heavy-handed. I feel like John Elway doesn't really respect the defense.
But didn't we just go all defense? That's pretty heavy-handed, wouldn't you say?
They won a Super Bowl.
Well, I don't think we're gonna be good.
That's true.
And second, but
John
John Elway did not only go all in on defense that year. He had, they still had Peyton. They still had Demaryius Thomas. I think Demaryius Thomas was
shell of himself, though.
Sure, but it wasn't like I feel like they didn't invest I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just feel like I feel like John Elway is always drafting quarterbacks. He's always trying to get that offense cooking. It's just not working. But you make a compelling argument there, and I like it. So I think the Panthers are 2 and what would that be? There's 3 games left, so that'd be 2 and 11.
You're saying 2 and 11, yeah.
2 and 11. I'm sorry.
Then they go on the road against the Packers. Ugh. Road, Green Bay, December.
Disgruntled Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, right now we would just say this is that the Packers were like a 12-4 team last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's not get into that.
But here I'm not trying to say that the Panthers are going to go on the road and steal one in Green Bay in the snow.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Well, then the Panthers then go on the road against the Redskins, facing Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera, I saw they asked him about facing Carolina, and he said, "Oh, we play them." Like he tried to act surprised.
Wait a minute, real quick before we move on from Green Bay, that the Panthers website has it listed as the 19th/20th.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that earlier. What's
TBD?
Flex game type?
Yeah, could be flex this Saturday.
Might want to put Green Bay in prime time on Monday or something.
Is that a December game?
Yeah.
December 19th.
Might put it on Saturday.
It might be. Yeah, it might just be based on.
Hold on.
They might not have It's every team has that same thing on theirs.
December 19th is a Saturday, so it could be a Saturday at like 8:30 game.
Yeah, if you look at everybody's schedule, I think they have that same weekend.
Yeah.
Anything to get Green Bay in prime time, right?
They're not going to play on
Saturday. Green Bay
Why
prime
would they
time.
play on a Saturday?
I think it's the weekend before Christmas. So
yeah, the 19th is a Saturday.
It's college
That's what it
football
is. That's what it is. The week before Christmas. That's why.
I think They have to. Yeah, I don't think college football is playing.
Hold on, the week before Christmas, wouldn't it make more sense to affect is that the last week of the season?
No, there's two more.
I'd say it would make more sense to affect the next week then, though, right? Because you're at the 19th, you're still 6 days away from Christmas.
Yeah, but it's
But then you get to do this. You get to football. You get to do football on the 26th and the 27th. They're trying to.
Their thought, yeah. I think their thought is that most people
that
celebrate Christmas the weekend before instead of after.
Because right now the Panthers are scheduled to play. All right. So did you want to talk about the Packers at all, Cody?
No, after that. We talked about them a lot after
Cody's like, just let me go play Warzone, please, before my wife kills me.
No.
Panthers on the road against the Redskins. Sadly, I don't think that. I think that's a loss too.
I think it's a win.
I don't know though, man. Like I don't.
That's a tough one to decipher.
I don't. Yeah.
With Dwayne Haskins at the helm, I don't trust that team enough to be able to win.
I think Alex Smith's gonna come and be the quarterback.
No way, dude. That dude.
He has been throwing. I saw him throwing on Twitter, like working out hard.
Let him take one hit.
I think Colin Kaepernick throw it on Twitter.
I promise you this: is Ron Rivera would start his ass.
Dude,
Exactly.
I just don't know what kind of team they're going to be because I feel like they have the potential to be a surprise team. Like, am I alone in that? Like, their defensive line, for all
they're going to be a good team under Ron. They might be 8-8. They might be 10-6. They might be 6-10. But they're going to be trying to beat you up every week.
And we also just assume after watching 1 year of a quarterback that a quarterback ain't shit.
Right. I agree.
People have to stop pretending that they know who Dwayne Haskins is. Like, the dude broke Big Ten records, broke all of Drew Brees' Big Ten records. Like, give the guy an opportunity before you just start shitting on him and say, oh, well, they should have drafted Tua, or, oh, they're going to be in the running for Trevor. Like, apparently they're favored to have the number 2 pick in the draft again going into next year. I don't see them being that bad of a football team. Like, I don't follow them. I don't know. But I think that could be a surprise.
At their house, a winter game. Yeah. That's a Ron Rivera. Let's go fucking punch these guys in the mouth. Do you remember when he gave that speech against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Like, he's going to be giving that speech in that halftime.
I don't fear Ron. I fear that roster. That's what I'll say. I fear they have a good.
I fear Ron this. I fear Ron is that he's going to put together a competitive team. Like, I mean, they might not be outstanding, but like if they're doing their shit together pretty well.
Yeah, Ron Rivera is when he has a good roster and a good defense, he's fine. He's a good coach. It's fine, but they weren't going to win or lose because of Ron.
Well, true. And then the Panthers close the season hosting the Saints on
second year in a row.
January 3rd.
Third year.
We always play the Saints or the Falcons right in the last 2 weeks. Thank God we don't have 2 division games to close it out.
Well, I'll tell you, Tony, based on my schedule I'm looking at, by that point we're 5-11, or excuse me, 5-10.
Man, it's coming down to the wire, huh?
This game is going to be the game that decides, and I want to let you know might be in trouble if this game is the game that decides that, because if the Saints have already locked up, just say the number 1 seed or the number 2 seed, they can't go anywhere.
I don't think they get to do that anymore.
There is no number 2.
I think the new rule. I think the new rules change that.
Yeah, there is no number 2 seed.
Okay, well, if the Saints can't change their position based on a win or a loss. I mean, there's no number 2 seed, but there's a second-ranked team. I mean, you may not call it the number 2 seed, but and they will get the next best matchup.
Only one team gets a bye now.
Change the verbiage, but
right, only one team gets a bye. All right, well that's fine. You think the Panthers are gonna, catch the Saints sleeping?
If they have nothing to lose, it would behoove the Saints to let us win like they did 2 years ago.
Didn't 2 teams from each conference get a bye before?
No, two teams from each conference.
Yeah, I think only one now gets a bye, right?
Or from each conference. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, only one but it doesn't matter. Even
Is
if
that
you don't
right,
get the bye,
CK? Am I wrong on that?
No,
Only one team gets the bye. It's the number 1 seed.
Right, and you may be right on that, but what I'm saying is it doesn't matter if you're locked in the number 2 seed. It doesn't matter if you get that bye or not. You're locked in the number 2 seed. You're locked in that game. A win or a loss is not going to affect you. They're going to play the same way as if they had a bye or if they're locked in that seed, is all I'm saying. It might change. It might suck to be the number 2 seed and not get a bye, but it's still the number 2 seed.
Taysom Hill comes in and slays Teddy Bridgewater.
Maybe.
Or even worse, Jameis Winston.
Maybe. Oh, God.
All right, I got the Panthers
I'm
winning 2 games
right
right now. 3 as I see as realistic. 4 I see as optimistic. 5 and 6 I see as ridiculous.
I think the floor is 2. I think the
floor is 2, not even 1.
Well, I mean, dude, we could
Okay,
lose
all right, I like that. Floor is 2.
I see our range between 2, somewhere between 2 and 4.
Okay.
Maybe 5 if one of these games has dumped. Okay, so I can kind of rank them as games that I could see being swung either way. Like Arizona, yeah, I think they're going to beat this, but I can see us winning that. That's our second home game. There's a few of these games that are kind of like, I have no idea what the Lions are going to be. So, I think that we're going to beat the Lions, but who knows? It's somewhere between 2 and 4, maybe 5. I don't know. Panthers guy in the chat room says we're going 16-0.
All right. You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's go ahead and get into the cat calls, guys, and see what the fans want to talk about this week.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty you shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like...
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Hey, you know it is. Joey the Blind Panther. So I heard today that Larry Warford got released by the Saints. So, I think that means that Hardy Murney, whoever he is, I don't know at this point, he should go get him. Because, I mean, he played most of his games protecting Drew Brees, but he knows Bridgewater well enough. He certainly knows Joe Brady well enough. So he should be on our team. And luckily he's released, so we don't have to give the Saints jack shit. So, what do you guys think of that? We need offensive line. I can't believe we didn't get that in the draft because, let's be honest, Teddy Bridgewater's knee exploded. So,
I love the Joey.
Keep pounding, guys.
Keep pounding. CK, it's just me and you. We've been ditched.
Yeah, we've been ditched.
Yeah, they ditched us, but
yeah, go ahead.
Dude, Cody is the best name on this podcast anyway, bro. There you go. So yeah, man. Larry Warford. I don't know. I mean, listen, it's hard. Would he make our team better? Absolutely. We have no idea who's playing left guard or right guard. We're thinking it's going to be some formulation of Matt Paradis, Greg Little at some position, and the guy from South Carolina whose name I always seem to forget. I don't know why. Yeah, I just, I mean, would he make the team better? Yes. Do we have the money to do it? I don't think so. And frankly, at this point in time, I mean, I don't know if this late in the season or in the off season, either you're going to see the Panthers make a move to better the football team. Now, if they were really serious about winning and giving Teddy Bridgewater some extra protection, then yeah, maybe. But then you also have to realize this: like, why did they release Larry Warford? The fact that someone has been to a Pro Bowl, that doesn't say anything about what their recent film has been. So, I mean, the Saints decided to let him go, and they decided to go younger at the position. They just let him go. So, what was the reason for that? You know, what are we bringing on to the team that we don't know about? Dennis Daly. Thank you, Brad, for reminding me.
Don't sleep on Dennis Daly.
We can't.
It's so good. Yeah. So good.
We cannot afford to sleep on him because he has to play football.
I like that shirt you got on, by the way, Cody.
Oh yeah,
got that keep pounding. It's the no international games this year though. Canceled them.
Well,
yeah, Lynn was in the chat room talking about that earlier, saying that she liked the novelty of it, having to get up early, coffee and football. It's a little bit different, but yeah.
Well, it's not a novelty for her because she was on the West Coast for so long. And that is so now she's on the East Coast. She's got to adjust to nighttime games, staying up late to watch football. Tailgates are different. You know, when Mel Mayock was always on the show back in the day, he was living in Las Vegas. And he said he loved getting up and just like making breakfast and starting your day watching football. And then it was over by 3 o'clock. Or 4 o'clock. You still had a day after it. Sunday football takes all day for us, right? If you watch football, if you watch the Sunday night game, kickoff at 8:20, you're going to bed. You got to work on Monday. It's a long, you know what I'm saying? It's close to midnight when that game.
That's true. Yeah.
Was over. All right. So, but you're right. Is that the one thing that's great about the international games for people on the East Coast is that we got that novelty of being like a West Coaster watching football, like what they get every week. All right, let's go on to the next call. 252-228-5098.
Panthers podcast, how y'all doing? Y'all know who this is, the world famous G. Cavassier. Once again, I hope everybody there listening and all you gentlemen that's running the show are keeping safe during this damn corona shit. Hey,
you too,
I know y'all seen the news today and probably been online. Today is Steve Smith's birthday. Man, I miss that dude, man. I really do, man. I really, really, really do, man. I wish he would have stayed with us, man, because I believe if he was with us, we'd have won that last Super Bowl. But anyway, the reason why I called is I know this season
Cam
is coming
turned
up.
31 today,
there is
too.
a season this year. But something that a lot of people are not talking about with the Panthers, our offensive line looks pretty damn good this year.
Ooh,
man.
that's what I've been saying.
I mean, we got some veterans up there, and I truly, truly believe the offensive line is going to get some daggone media play. I really, really do, man. I mean, we got a good left tackle, and, Taylor Moton is still there. We added some other pieces, and hopefully good old Paradis, as I call him, Paradise, can play pretty damn good at damn center. I know last year he was coming off an injury and shit, you know what I'm saying? But, damn. But I truly believe offensive line is going to hold up against the blitz, and I think it will open up lanes for, C-Mac. And last but not least, quick question. Since Luke is gone, who you think is going to play the middle linebacker? You think it's going to be Shaq? Or do you think it's going to be that linebacker we picked up from Oakland?
Tahir Whitehead?
That's something nobody has really, really talked about. Who is going to play the middle linebacker? Give me your thoughts on that. And always remember, y'all, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
All right. Well,
I think in true interest, I think that the linebacker question is going to be a competition in training camp. I don't think it's going to be anybody assigned that role until they actually get a really good look at both of those guys.
Let's look at what the unit is right now. Right now, Tahir Whitehead, he's 6'1", 233, born in 1990. So what is that? Is that 5 years? Is his 5th year in the league?
He's 30.
No, 5th
30 years
draft
old,
round. All right, 5th draft round is pick. He was 5th round pick. All right, we've got him. All right, so outside linebacker Brian. They've got Brian Burns listed as a linebacker. Shaq Thompson, Christian Miller, Jordan Kunuzik. I don't know who he is.
I don't know.
Oh, Jordan Kanashik from Cal.
Kanuzik. Who
They
gives
said
a
it 4 different
fuck?
ways, yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Nobody's gonna say his name ever again after this.
Lady, right?
We just call him Kun.
That sounds. I'm just gonna call him.
Almost
cunt.
sounds like an insult.
Jermaine Carter Jr. Jermaine Carter Jr. can play a little bit. Andre Smith, they're actually probably we're gonna have to see one of those guys produce because that's it, homie. That is it. We're gonna be running a 3-4 because you can't put 3 linebackers out there. You actually have to put 4, and they need to be defensive ends, really.
They've got Brian Burns listed as defensive end now.
No, as a linebacker.
They do have him as linebacker.
Yeah. Wait, this is lineups.com. Hold it. This is not the Panthers. Well, but I'm sure they're just jacking the shit off the Panthers site anyway.
Brian Burns is not about to he's not about to play the Thomas Davis strong sideline.
No, he's an outside. I think we're going to do this. I think that really when you run a 3-4, you only need 2 traditional style running linebackers. And then the other 2 are big stand-up DN kind of guys. So I could see them putting Brian Burns out there. I could see them putting Christian Miller on the other side. Marquise Haynes. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't really... God, Robbie Anderson's picture, guys. Oh, my God. Is so awesome. I wish I need to find a way to show this to you. Hold on. Y'all keep talking. I got to show this to you.
All right.
How about the weather, guys?
Oh, shut up. Come on. You can do better than that.
Hey, I was thinking the same thing, though, back, I think, right around the draft time, we were talking about how our offensive line, we didn't solidify anything, and I wanted to bring that point up. We kind of got past it before I got there, that I don't think our offensive line is that bad. I think that we're probably the strongest we've been in at least the last 2 or 3 years. Wouldn't you say?
But I
think we had this conversation last week. I agree.
How is that true if we're all picking us to be between 2 and 5 wins?
Y'all are all picking them. I'm saying they might make 6. I also threw out the possibility they could win 9 in a world that I see. But offensive line's not everything. Just because you have a good offensive line doesn't mean you're going to win games. It takes more than that.
Right. It's just that's a good point. That doesn't mean we're going to win. It just means it's better. Right. Yeah.
This is my concern. Teddy Bridgewater is not an inaccurate quarterback. And he's not all of a sudden going to be an inaccurate quarterback next year either. So I have no problems about Teddy Bridgewater hitting the marks. My problems are all about protection. In my mind, I think with Joe Brady and this system, I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to implement that system and be comfortable executing it. But, I mean, with our receivers, with the play calling and Christian McCaffrey, if we have a good offensive line, our prospects for this season are way better than we're giving them credit for, I think. Now, yes, you have to play defense, but, I mean, the Panthers, if we have a good offensive line, we should be able to score with anyone. The problem is, I just don't think we're going to be because I don't trust. I'm not going to give this offensive line the benefit of the doubt until they prove that they can actually be a good offensive line. I don't trust that interior until I see them play well.
Where are we weaker than we were last year on offensive line?
On the interior.
Yeah, the guards.
But are we also not stronger on the tackles?
So, I mean, whatever.
We had the upgraded center with Paradis. We had 1 year last year. I mean,
who was bad last year. So
he wasn't bad last year.
He offered
I gotta look it up now.
Pressures of like any center in football.
But I think that also, to be fair to him, I agree with that. I don't think Paradis was great, but I think that also leads to the fact that we didn't have a good offensive line across the board, right? And that makes it a lot more difficult on a center when you have to sit there and worry about everybody else's knowing their protections. That's where I think that is. I think this year will hopefully allow Paradis to actually focus on his job and not make sure other people are doing their jobs too, which I know is part of the center's position. I'm still hopeful Paradis can actually pull this out because he was a high-rated center.
I want you guys to switch over to the YouTube so you can see what I just put up. But I just put up a picture of Robbie Anderson that's listed. And so when you go to this lineups.com,
I think it's about a 15 to 20 second delay. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
And I know it was so small, but he looks like homie from Don't Be Drink.
It looks like Coolio, bro. What?
No, he looks like one of the Wayans brothers from Don't Be Drinking the Juice in South Central.
Yeah.
No, he looks like Marlon Wayne from Scary Movie.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's it.
Matt Paradis last year, real quick. Almost 1,100 snaps played, 3 penalties, 3 sacks allowed. Tied for 4th in the league with sacks allowed, which is pretty good at 32 centers. Tied for 4th.
No. One, where are you getting your information from? PFF. Well, hold on. That was for last year?
That was for last
year. In
2019 season. Yep.
All the information dude.
He wasn't. Look, this has been the main criticism about Paradis, right? There's been 2 that Panther fans have made, and it has been anecdotal. So I think Greg putting some stats with it helps us, right? Because a lot of anecdotal fan comments have been as I saw Paradis on his back a lot.
Yeah.
And then the other one was this, is that I think, and this is I think a legitimate criticism, is that you were hoping that by losing, when you lost Khalil, by bringing in a free agent veteran at center, experience, communication, that the line would look more organized because of him. And I think that if there's anything that you could say is that it did not seem like a apples to apples jump from Khalil when he was at his best to Paradis.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on. So then I also have.
It was slightly an upgrade though from Khalil the year before, who was always on his ass. Both Khalils.
This is from PFF. The entire Baltimore Ravens offensive line allowed 74 total pressures last season. Nate Solder alone allowed 51 pressures. Matt Paradis, a center, allowed for 47 pressures. So, by the way, Rodney Hudson, whoever that is, but this is from PFF, has allowed 54 pressures in his career. Matt Paradis has allowed 47 pressures last season.
How long?
How long
is that career?
But this is why that matters more than sacks, though. So when you're being pressured, that means the defender has backed the center all the way up to the quarterback. Like, that's in his face.
But okay.
First, I think they're probably a little lenient with pressures in PFF. But okay, yeah. Is he didn't play great. He didn't even play that good.
But he's gonna have to play better than last season.
You're right though, Cody, but I want to know that guy you're talking about with his career, how many years he played, how many snaps he played. Did he play 1,100 snaps last year? The guy you're talking about?
I don't know who Rodney Hudson is, but
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Did he play 1,100ed snaps last year?
Well, then why are you saying his name, Cody, if you ain't know who he is?
No, because this is the point. 47 pressures. Dude, I don't care how you spin it. That's dog shit.
No, I'll give you that.
Shit.
Nobody was praising him, though.
No, hold on. Now we're asking Teddy Bridgewater to play behind that same center, and we don't know what the left and right guard combo is going to be.
It's gonna it's gonna be better because you have a Kung now. You have it's gonna be better. I promise you this. All right, so I got. I will bet $10 Greg dollars to you
Call them
that because they're my dollars. I'll bet you 10 Greg dollars that the offensive line this year is better than last year.
How are you going to grade that though? What's that going to
eye
be?
test. Eye test.
PFF eye test? Oh, that's tough.
I bet you 30.
Ooh.
30.
He doesn't have 30 Greg.
So it's got to be worse.
Wait, what's a Greg
What's
dollar?
the cash value of a Greg dollar?
Yeah, we need to.
Well, it's $10. He's gonna He's gonna give me.
I want to say it. Oh,
0.0001 cents.
What did he say? He says the same thing as something to
All right,
unicorns.
let's make the bet.
Unicorns.
Let's make the bet. Let's make the bet right now. Let's do 10. Let's just keep the $10 marks. By the way, I sent you some money on PayPal. Did you get it?
I did.
Okay, cool.
I got it.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
So $10. How are we gonna judge it? I think we have to have like 3 categories. I think the eye test has to be one.
Okay. Well, hold on. How about just numbers that we know we can measure? Sacks allowed.
Yeah.
Sacks allowed.
Pressures.
I would say rushing yards from scrimmage. Like
whoa. All right. I mean, we just had.
We have to do something with run blocking. Like that's. Dude,
all right, so we're gonna. I'm writing it down. Sacks allowed.
I would say sacks allowed, pressures, and there are certain websites that will let you find out the yards,
like the DVOA or shit.
Yeah, like the amount of movement your offensive line generates.
So those are our analytics. Now I want us to do this. I want to do some individual things, right? I want us to see this. Is Russell Okung upgrade from whoever we have for the last 2 years? You get to pick the person. You pick the person.
One of the 7 people we have.
Yeah, pick them. You pick them. All of them. Against the field. Ooh, we'll do that. Russell Okung against the field. Now we're gonna do that.
Ooh. Go ahead.
What do you mean though? Like
you mean the entire rest of the NFL? Like
no, against the field of past Panthers left tackles for the last year. Like because we had like 5 last year. How many people did we have play left tackle last year?
Anybody in the last 2 years? Yeah.
You had Greg Little. Who else kicked out there? Was Darrell Williams kicked out there at one point?
Yep. Dennis Daly played at one point.
Dude, it was so embarrassing.
So Russell Okung against the Carolina field is what I mean.
But dude, that's so not hard. Like I would take Russell.
Well, no, you've been shitting on that move for the last weeks. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that.
Russell is who gives a shit. Like it's all about can he stay healthy.
Well, the thing he didn't have a health issue. Like he didn't have like an injury issue. It was a health issue.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's healthy, then yeah, he's fine. But what I'm talking about is from a football stance, the interior is our issue. The offensive interior line. We have a center that gave up 47 pressures last year. We don't know who's playing left guard. We don't know who's playing right guard. Whoever it is, they're not going to have a lot of time at that position. You know, whoever is going to fall in those 2 spots, that's not going to be
you
their
don't get to fucking say this because I'm sorry, Cody. This is bullshit because you shit on the Okung pickup like it was nothing. So you cannot be like, oh, all of a sudden he's a fucking real player.
I shit on Okung because we got nothing for him. Like it was a player for player trade.
That's great. That's great. It's a 1-year patch fix. How about this? Will this tire survive this season is the question. Will Russell Okung... Oh, that's our next one. How about this? What is the Russell Okung Where is this conversation going? I don't know.
Hey, you know what it sounds like? And it's something we should try to do. We should all come up with prop bets before the season starts and throw down some prop bets.
I like it.
And they see at the end of the season how it ends up.
Well, here's a good one for you. Will Okung start more than 12 games?
Oh, gosh. I'm not taking that bet.
Because I'm saying this, if he starts more than 12 games, I want myself to get a check on, like, you know, how we're looking at sacks allowed, we're looking at pressures, we're looking at DVOAs, Okung against the fields. Okung, if he gives us 12 or more games, I think that that is something that should go to Tony with the better line. So, all right, we'll put that one. What else do you want to measure?
Well, I want to take Cody up on that bet for the offense, just the straight up 3 stats offensive line. I'll take you $10 on that if you want to go.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
Or one piglet.
Or one piglet, yeah, whichever you like.
Or a pig, yeah. I'm into bacon.
CK, do you think if you could pause Warzone for a second? Yeah, I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing. That's what he told his wife. That's what his wife says to him. He's like, he's gonna call. CK's gonna now call me no longer the professor, but my wife. Are there any other? What are your thoughts on how can we measure the Panthers' offensive line? You know, because it's not a statistical, like it's kind of, at some point you also have to say there's got to be a little feel to it too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing to do. I mean,
is there anything we can look forward to? Like, do we look at this? What about if, do we find an answer at left guard or right guard?
Can you really put rushing stats into that?
I think you got to.
That is very kind of codependent, though. You know, like you could have a great offensive line and a running back just not hit the holes. Even though I don't think Christian McCaffrey will do that. But
I think
he made last year's offensive line look fantastic
good
too.
There for really a lot of those games, the run offense.
What do you do? Maybe yards per carry. What if we looked at yards per carry?
We could do that.
Could you throw penalties in there? That's a big offensive line stat. False starts.
Oh, I like that.
Holding, I mean, that's a big deal.
Christian is shifted though. Yards per carry, a lot of that might end up being him.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but
that leans to you guys. That's actually helpful to you. But you know, what is the number then? All right, if he is shifty, is it 4 yards? If it's over under, well, let's see what he averaged last year. Y'all talk about the weather, CK, Mr. I take the mic and give us the. I said, talk about the weather while I look it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben looked nice outside.
Stop! I didn't really mean it.
Cold, man. I want to plant my damn plants and I can't do it. It's cold.
Have you guys seen the John Krasinski Some Good News on YouTube?
Yeah,
I've heard about it, but I hadn't seen it yet.
Did you see the new?
Him and what's his name from The Office?
Oh my gosh, I kind of wanted to cry during it. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Christian McCaffrey averaged 4.8 yards a carry last year. He averaged 5 yards a carry in 2018. So let's say this is that if Christian McCaffrey averages less than 4.2, you think that's a fair number?
Well, what's 5 and 4.8 divided by 2? 4.6 is the average of those two. Would you want to just go with the average?
4.9 would be the average.
But those are great. Yeah, 4.9 would be the average. But still, like, think about this, is that we're talking about a bad, like, we're not trying to measure Christian McCaffrey. We're trying to measure the offensive line.
Correct.
But we're seeing some relation between the two. So what I would say is this, is that if he averages 4.3 or more, that's a good offensive line. Like you would say, very, very good. under 4-3, are you willing to say that they were not as good as before?
It's just tough when
What's
you're
the
involved.
number do we set it at? Do we set it at 4?
So no one would say that we were a good offensive line last year, and yet Christian balled out.
But
So
we're
it's-
trying
that's
to
why
find
Christian
some
makes this a tough thing
measurements.
to
Yeah,
follow.
we're trying to find some measurements, though.
Well,
So
but if
here's
you
what-
if go ahead,
Here's
Siggy.
what it needs to be. It needs to be based off of sacks and pressures. I think that's got to be the only thing. And here's the part of it is in order for us to say that it's better, we have to have a it can't be 3 less sacks than last year.
But
right?
what if he rushes
but
for
that's technically
3,000
better.
yards?
It is,
Yeah.
but what I mean by that is it's not better. It's not something that's tangibly better, right?
Okay, but
Tangibly
what if
better
we
is
say this? What if we're not trying to
tangible.
find out if it's better? We're trying to measure if it's worse.
And that's why I was thinking, Tony, when you're saying that, like, if you're trying to measure if it's worse, then the line should be what Christian McCaffrey's average was last year, right?
No,
4.8.
that's
no,
that's a historic fucking season, dude.
McCaffrey's average.
I think that's
so I'm
to
confused.
be worse.
Cody isn't arguing that the line is worse. He's not arguing the line is worse. He's arguing that the line is not better, as you guys.
I think
have
he's arguing that it's worse,
stated.
but okay.
Yeah, Cody, what are you arguing? Because I think he's arguing it's worse too. What are you arguing, Cody?
yeah, I mean, I think that it's worse from last
worse.
year when you look
See?
at our interior. Yeah,
But the exterior is better, so we're kind of a wash.
Overall, what do you think?
So you're trying to tell me, CK, we got to show that it's better. He just has to show that it's the same or worse.
yeah, because the burden of proof is not like
Okay.
I'm trying to be reasonable with this. I have to prove that they're better.
All right. Well, you say 4.4 yards a carry. Will you give us that? If we get over 4.4, that at the very minimum, we're not stepping back as an offensive line.
So say it to me again. If it's over 4,
Like anything
4,
under 4.4 is a regression. Anything 4.4 and above is the same or improvement.
Better. I give you that.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, I mean,
fine.
is that the number that would make you feel better? Because I think that that's slightly
I mean, it
unfair.
will-
Because, like,
but
to
yeah,
think that Christian McCaffrey is going to average, gosh, that's awesome, dude. 5 yards a
But-
carry, 4 yards,
but
4
you-
point.
you
He's
just-
average. That's fucking dope as fuck. This motherfucker
Let's
gets it done.
Let's say he averages, over 4.4. Tyler Duncan makes a great point. Don't forget, Joe Brady's offense is about getting the ball out quickly, so it's a different philosophy. He also thinks Michael Schofield is going to end up being one of our starting guards. But my thing is this: they might be able to run the ball okay, but then like when it goes to pass protection, if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't have a lot of time to throw the football, then I mean we could be a better running offensive line than last year, and I would still say that we're worse off if Teddy doesn't have time to drop back.
See,
So-
that's why I said include penalties, because penalties are
Yeah,
tangible.
we
and
have to
tangible.
include penalties.
because
Penalties is big.
A false start.
Yeah, that's a good one.
question. Holding you can question. So that's why that's a good walk.
No,
for
I
that,
think
you
that's
know?
a great one to look at. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next call as we think about how to compare offensive lines between year to year and administration to administration.
Hey everybody, this is Anthony Rochelle. I just wanted to let you know about the schedule. Looks very interesting. I'm kind of glad we don't play the Patriots or the Steelers. You know, I don't like.
This is
neither
like
of
the
those,
only
but
year I
don't
wouldn't
like
mind playing the
all
Patriots.
31 teams anyway, but I just want to let you guys know. The schedule looks pretty okay. I think we're gonna good opponents is
Fans
playing
speak.
against Kansas
Fans
City
speak.
because they're Super Bowl champions.
It's gonna
But,
be terrible.
You know, it looks very interesting schedule. Thanks for everything. Go Panthers.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Anthony,
Panthers.
for that call. My man got a good name.
Appreciate
Anthony's
you, man.
a strong name. But I tell you this is that you know what the best thing about the Panthers schedule is we get to watch good football teams, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be able to pay attention to these teams that
Yeah,
that
we're gonna be
are-
watching the Chargers.
Yeah.
The
And we get to
Bucks.
see what we missed out on Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that are interesting. We
I
get to
bet
see
you
Teddy
Harris,
Bridgewater go back to
Harrison
Minnesota.
Did we miss
Butker.
out on Justin Herbert though? We didn't have a chance for him.
I'm saying,
Well,
that's
if
the thing,
we
missed out on
wanted
him.
him,
I got
we were
I
all
got
kind of rooting for. What about this? Harrison Butker with the 50-yard field goal win against the Panthers.
Whatever. Joey Sly's gonna hit the 76-yard field goal win. So I mean,
Who's our
Harrison
punter?
Butker
Matt
doesn't
Pilardi.
have
Is our punter Matt Pilardi?
Yeah.
Huh?
Thank Jesus. I could not remember his name when I was on the radio on Friday. All right. So, we get to watch good teams this year, though. What do you guys think? Do you think the Rams are going to be any good?
No.
The
No.
Rams?
No.
I don't feel they will.
It's hard. Oh, that does
They're
remind me,
8-8
dude.
team to me.
I'm torn because now I feel like I kind of have to unfollow Jordan Rodriguez on Twitter because
Now that she's a
now
Ram.
all of her shit is Ram stuff, and I just don't give a shit. Like, damn.
It's like
Jordan.
caring about a pancake ass.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just don't really
no
care
fun
about
in
it.
that.
Like, it's just like, I tried to care about it, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I hear that.
You know what I'm talking about, Cody.
I do.
Looked like a frying pan, smashed it. All right, next call.
This is getting weird.
Hey, this is Anthony Rochelle. I just wanted to explain Justin Fields from Ohio State looks like a cool fit for us. Really enjoy that quarterback. I've seen some playback of videos he's playing. He looks like a good pick that we can get next year. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Alrighty. God bless you. Go Panthers.
Gesundheit. Thank you, Anthony Rochelle. And Cody, tell us this, is that while we all have been infatuated with the Tank for Trevor talk, because it has a good ring to it, what if the Panthers aren't the first pick? And what if they are the first pick and they pick Justin Fields? Tell us about Justin Fields a little bit. I think he holds the ball a little bit too long.
You mean, what if we just suck for Justin?
Just sucking for Fields? I think he holds the ball too long.
Well, so I'll say this, man. The paths of Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields have been linked together for a long time now. They were in the same class, both played high school football in the state of Georgia. The number 1 and number 2 players, respectively, in their classes, and some had one higher than the other. This is the thing. Ohio State, you look at what Dwayne Haskins did, what JT Barrett did. Their quarterbacks have a lot of success. So I'm not going to all the way say that, oh, well, it's because that system at Ohio State is so good. But I think that is a part of it. But at the same time, dude, Justin Fields has tremendous deep ball accuracy. He's a fan of Cam Newton. Like, that's his idol. They've done camps together.
Well, then I should be the fucking Panthers quarterback then.
I mean, dude, he has, I
have a shrine to Cam.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a big, giant black dong.
But no, that's just.
I have the suggestion. Flop for Fields.
Oh, that's a good one. Flop for Fields. I like that.
I like that. Yeah.
I mean, he might be in play for us even if we don't have the number 1 pick. I mean, I'm fairly. I don't know.
Oh, right. If somebody else gets Trevor Lawrence and we're 3, right?
Justin Fields. Yeah, Justin could fall to us. But no, I love the talent, man. He does make some really accurate throws. He reads the field well. I am concerned about the injuries a little bit with him. He's been injured in high school and he's been injured in college. So I think durability might end up being a factor. But Yeah, I mean, I think he is an option for us if we're sitting around 4 or 5, maybe 3. Now he could have a better year than Trevor. I mean, it's going to be fun to.
Whoa, say that again, Cody.
He could have a better year than Trevor. Man, they have a whole nother year to play, and I mean, these two names have been linked together. They're going to continue to be linked together. You're talking about two incredible talents. I mean, both of them have number 1 pick potential. Justin, 6'3", 225 pounds, A+ arm, mobile. I think a lot still has to play out, but I would still rank Trevor based on what I have seen him do as a better NFL prospect.
All right, so Joey, the blind Panther fan, says, who is the new Carolina Can? The new Carolina Can is Kristen Balboni.
So we got the mob involved. No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
Kristen Balboni.
The Balboni family from.
No, I'm not, Joey. No, I'm not, Joey. Joey said I'm drunk. No. My wife made me these beautiful Tom Collins drinks tonight, though, which are.
I was going to ask you what you were drinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you destroyed that shit.
Dude, I've had 2 of them. They're wonderful. Like, here's what it is. So, first of all, Tom Collins is, I don't know who he is, but he's an amazing person. But it's what it's what Robert De Niro. It's what Robert De Niro drank in Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents.
Yeah, or Meet the Fockers, maybe. One of the two. And Tom Collins is a big deal. It's just fruit juice and gin. Pretty good.
Classic drink, yep.
Joey says Fields equals Cam. No way.
Yeah.
No way. Not even close, Joe. You're drunk, Joey.
He's not as big and as physically imposing as Cam.
And he's not doing the things Cam did.
At
all. He is not doing what Cam did. You know he's not.
Tony's drunk again.
He said it. Joey's drunk.
He said, fuck you, you're drunk.
Joey, you ate too many gummy bears.
Or not.
Kristen Balboni, she's cute.
Kristen Balboni.
I like her better than Caroline can.
No.
I feel like
I was not in love with Caroline and Ken.
Though. Like with her, I don't feel like the content is as genuine as it was with Caroline Can.
Yeah, she has a cardboard personality.
Yeah, it feels fake. Everything feels more fake than, like, it just doesn't feel as bubbly. I don't know if that's the right way to put it.
I saw the interview she did. She did a Zoom call with all the draft picks, and she was boring as shit.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't finish watching it. I can't watch her podcast, even though it has Tiffany Blackman, and it had that one had our owner's wife on there.
I love Tiffany though.
Yeah.
I love Tiffany.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, that's
as long as we ain't got to deal with Carolina Blitz. That's the one I don't like. Oh my god. She's the one that I'll find her name. Y'all go ahead. Y'all keep talking. Her name was
I think I know who you mean. She's bad as hell too. What the fuck are you talking about?
Nah, like she was the one that was like smashing Jordan Rodriguez when that shit happened with Cam. I mean, she was trying to make her name on the opposite side, but she thinks she's hot shit, and she ain't. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna tell John, but still, so
hot shit to me.
I need to follow the reporter game a little closer.
Yeah, man.
Well, what you got to do is that we know Cody's MO is just big thighs and big ass, and Cody's ready to. That's what it is. He's ready. He's ready.
I'm ready to go swimming.
These little tiny blonde girls don't do it for him.
He said he's ready to go swimming.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm with you, man. I like a lot of meat on my bone, on my chicken bones.
Dude, I'm like a Skittles bag. I'm trying to taste the rainbow, dog. Whatever's out there. I'm trying.
Where did we go with this?
All right, I think we got. Let me see. Do we got? Oh, that was the last call. All right,
It's an awesome football podcast.
This has been
true.
weird. This is a weird.
Oh,
podcast.
shut up! Just play Warzone with CK.
We should.
And it's weird.
We should just switch to ASMR. Start
What does that mean?
this.
Oh! I want to know this. Is CK? Tell me what the fuck the diamond shit's about.
About what? Oh, it's Live Me, dude. It's an app that that guy that we were playing with. Apparently, it's a pretty big deal on there. He's got like 150,000 followers, but what
does that do?
Huh?
What does that do? Like, what? Like,
I mean, he's got when you look at the convert, like if you like the diamonds, certain amount of diamonds equals a certain amount of money that you can transition, like get from PayPal.
Okay.
And he has enough. He has like $300,000 worth of diamonds right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's
a lot of.
Yeah, it's a lot of diamonds, and his wife and that's not including his wife's profile.
is this the hands guy we were talking with?
Mr. Jedi?
Oh,
Jedi,
where's he?
Yoda Beast.
What does he
Yoda
do? Like, how's he getting all these diamonds, bitch? I want some diamonds.
Wait, is that the guy I was playing with you with? Yoda
Best
before? Yeah.
Yoda Best. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I played with he's pretty cool, man. He it's just like this. You got to look it up. It's called Live Me. It's an interesting little.
Who watches
I downloaded
this
it
shit?
just to check it out.
Who watches this shit?
It's people all over the world, dude. Like it's so weird. Like it's weird, but it's interesting.
So you're trying to say that I've been trying to hack it on YouTube since 2013, and this motherfucker making 300 G's on Live Me.
Yeah, but it's the thing about it though is that
so that means that Google's making all the money. I ain't making shit.
Live Me is owned by Twitch, just so you know. But it's so hard for me to even explain what it is. It's basically people who just you stream with your phone's camera, right? And so you literally just talk to people. Some people will do music. Some people will do just literally talking to the camera.
It's like a little TikTok meets YouTube.
But it's straight. It's live. You know.
Does it not like archive them afterwards?
Nope, it does not archive.
They are just there, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like Snapchat meets.
About broads, because this is some nerd. I'm gonna be Tony. This is some nerd now. Let's go back to talking about
whoa.
So it's like Snapchat meets live broadcasting.
What?
It's like Snapchat meets live broadcasting.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Old right now, making these comparisons, just trying to figure this out. We sound old. I'm not following any of it.
Tony was playing with us the other night, and then somebody was talking about sending. You sent me what did he say? You sent me like a. Thanks for sending me an umbrella or something like that. And then Tony was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "It's diamonds. It's just basically I got diamonds." And then Tony was like, "What do you mean diamonds?"
I mean, he's like in the diamond business, and then he was in the diamond business. Then he was getting a hot water heater installed. Then he was getting it was like all this shit going on that made no sense. It's like, hey, I'm a diamond dealer, a hardware repairman. It was crazy. But I've had a lot of fun playing video games with CK lately.
Joey, back on tomorrow night, y'all. I'm off Thursday. I'm getting on tomorrow night.
Well, you missed it, man. We had some wins.
Yeah?
Dude, we had a back-to-back win.
Nice.
Yeah.
Joey Escovel says, what about Sharon Thorsland? I had no idea who she was, so I looked her up, and she's a soccer mom.
Now I gotta look it up.
I'm looking it up. Don't worry, we're all going there.
Joey's relying on us at this point. He's like,
that's a meme.
No, it is, man. It's like, hey, y'all tell me what I need to know.
Oh, I like her better than Kristen Bell. I like her better than Caroline Can.
This is so weird.
Next door shit.
We're definitely never going to be getting Panthers to get to the rest of the official podcast.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. All right. Her mom's got a lot of gums.
She
Our mom has gums for days.
Huge gums.
Huge gums.
Is that how you say when you describe to your friends? Man, she's got really big gums, dude.
You mean her boobs? No, like her gums when she smiles. No, she's all right. She's pretty.
Huge.
It's
huge.
All right.
Who in right mind is listening to this shit right now?
27 people.
Dude.
27 people. We've lost 20 people.
That's nothing, dude. Look, we're 2.5 hours in. Like, man, we dope as shit, dude. Like, put me on live me, assholes. If I get 27
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know what? Let's start streaming this show on live me and you'll be giving me diamonds forever.
Forever, ever?
Dude, I'm gonna be naked all the time if that's the case. I don't care what the rules are.
You're naked now. Just we can't see the bottom half of you.
Yeah, on the bottom, but if you go to live me, dude, you're seeing nipples. It's a promise.
You're pretty hairy right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier, man. You were letting it
Your
go
shit
wild,
is
bro.
like hairy as fuck.
I really need some barbershops to open
I tell
back
you
up.
what, is
No,
you
dude, you
need
need to get that
your.
Robbie
I
Anderson
need to
hair.
go get my hair cut with your hairstyle. That's what I'm doing. In fact, I haven't had a haircut in like 6 weeks. I want Cody's hairdresser to cut my hair. Cause she makes Kristen
The
Balboni.
physics of that is impossible.
I will drive there. I will drive there because she's way hotter than Kristen Balboni or Sharon Thorsland. She's the hot. She's so hot. It's crazy. I'm in love with
Cody,
her.
You need to get somebody
Hear
to,
what I said.
Cody, you need to get somebody to give you that Robbie Anderson hair.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do
I
that.
don't know.
Hey,
I mean,
CK,
dude,
can you get Robbie Anderson there?
I'm just out. Since it's
my
so
bad.
late, fuck you.
My bad. All right. All right, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's ice some people up.
No, hold on. I could be stunting on y'all. I could have earbuds in and not this headset and just let my hair just flow like the Pacific Ocean.
I'm telling you, your hair is gorgeous, bro. Your hair game makes me jelly, and I got good hair.
Thank you, man.
But here's the thing: you need to be getting a fan right in front of you, and then you can just do this shit like this.
Oh, you're like our little Jesus on the podcast. He just did it. He just did it.
He actually had a fan. No, I will. I'm gonna let the hair.
Yeah,
drop.
you're like our little Jesus. You're our little Panthers Jesus. You got that action going on. All right, so let's ice some fuckers up and get the hell out of here. What you got? Somebody.
I got it. I am icing up Robert Pattinson.
Oh no! What did he do? Did he turn down the Batman role?
No, he did not turn down the Batman role, but Robert Pattinson, actually, it's not even him, it's his publicist, whoever his agent is that should be telling him what to say and what not to say. Robert Pattinson says today that he is not going to work out, and he's not working out for playing the role of Batman. And look, I may be a nerd, but look, Batman, the Batman, is one of the most iconic characters around the world. I don't care who you are, how old you are, when you're from the time you're 3 years old, the rest of your life, you know who Batman is. Everybody knows who Batman is, okay? If you're going to play the greatest detective in the world, a ninja, you commit to the damn part, okay? You're getting paid millions of dollars to do this. There are plenty of actors who would die for this role, and they got passed up for this role for you to play it, and you're not even going to work out. I do not want Bruce Wayne to look like a guy that I could take out in a street fight. That's all there is to it. I don't care what suit you put on him. I don't want Bruce Wayne to look like somebody that I could come up behind and take out if I want to, or not behind in a fight I could take. And that's just Pattinson, commit to your role, damn it. I mean, I know we're a long ways out. Production's been pushed back, but dude, do something, man. I do not want to see a Batman that looks like a damn string bean. I do not want to see a Twilight vampire Batman. I want to see a guy who at least looks like a superhero. That's all I'm saying. So, to Robert Pattinson, ice up. Stop being lazy. Ice up.
I had hope for him too, man.
I still do. I mean, it may still be good. I'm still going to pay to go see it. But this bothers me when you don't have commitment to that role. You know?
By the way, if you want to see some of the funniest shit in the world, listen to Robert Pattinson talk about Twilight. He hates it just as much as the fans do. He's like, yeah, this shitty ass movie that I'm in. You're right.
He likes doing movies like Lighthouse. That's why.
Yeah. He's a weird dude.
He's an artsy guy, which is fine. You can make artsy movies, but Batman is not an artsy thing. It's a anyway. I'll stop before I get too geeked out. Ice up, Robert Pattinson. So
ice up. CK, did you again for the third week in a row?
Ice up, COVID. Ice up.
Yeah. Oh,
there you go.
That's it. All right, what you got, Cody?
There is an artist who goes by the name of Doja Cat, and she promised all of her fans that if her single got to #1 on the charts, that she would go on Instagram Live and show her tits. Well, they got it to #1, and she was like, y'all are stupid as hell. I was never going to show y'all my tits. I played y'all. You're all idiots. And if you're the kind of person that's going to go out and buy a song just to see one woman's breast when there's any number of other videos and pictures and other shit that you could see, if that is going to prompt you to buy a song, you're a dumbass and you should ice up, son. She deserves to have played you.
No way. I'm going the other way on that. Is that
her up?
That what? Yeah, I'm not. She's not my ice up pick. But here, Cody, what if I said all this money is going to charity, and then at the end I was like,
then you
play Joe.
Like, what do you
play Joe, bitches? Play Joe. She said, if you give me $1, I'll show you my titties, and she went back on her word. All right.
Hey, but she okay.
By the way, Joey Esquivel wants to know why you're hitting on my hairdresser.
Oh, well, if you saw her booty, you would know exactly why. She would take Kristen Balboni and Caroline Can and put them in the trash can. I promise you that.
Why you trying to out me, bro? What?
Sorry. She is amazing, bro. Like, I'm in love with your hairdresser. I told you I will come to Charlotte to get my hair cut. That's how pretty she is. She's pretty. She's pretty.
Cody's getting his hair instead of Cody having to turn around. He's like, turn around. So she's having to turn around.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, let me see the back of your hair. I don't think you got the.
Yeah, can we get a reference real quick?
Yeah.
Let me see.
That's why he likes the mirrors. Yeah. All right. Anyway, my ice up pick continue. First of all, I'm going to stay in my lane, bro. I have been on a JCVD marathon kick. Continuing to watch Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
Yawn.
Yeah, dude. I've gotten Jean-Claude Van Damme. I've been through all the way through Universal Soldier to... what was the other one? I'm in the middle of it. I can't even remember it. But I went back and watched because somebody who watched the show, hold on, let me see. My man sent me a great message too. It was Dave Hino. He says, check out. Oh, he said this. He's been a spy in this one series. So he did a Amazon Prime series where he's a spy, and that he, like, in the time, like, he's being an action hero, he is actually being a spy. And then somebody else sent me this, Jason Godfrey. This is the tweet I was looking for. He said, just listen to Tuesday's show. Professor, you need to watch No Surrender, No Retreat, JCVD 1986, before Bloodsport. There's one scene that reminds me of bad wrestling. I'm telling you this, I went back and watched No Surrender, No Retreat. And I gotta say, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Take that out. But here's my ice up pick. My ice up pick goes, continuing my JCVD kick. I told one of my best friend, actually my best friend I ever had in my life. I grew up, I texted him. He lives in another town now. And I was telling him what I was doing. And he said, did you see the picture on YouTube right now, guys? Is that anyway, this has been, it's like leaked footage of what the Predator was originally supposed to look like. And JCVD was supposed to wear the costume. I'm icing this costume up and thanking Jean-Claude Van Damme for hating it because he couldn't do roundhouse kicks. A. And B, I am thanking James Cameron, who my best buddy told me the crew of every movie that he's been on is ready to walk off.
He's an asshole.
That's the exact words he used.
He's an asshole. Yep.
Yeah, but James Cameron sat beside the director of The Predator on an airplane and was like, dude, you got to make that head more gnarly. And so we have this image of what the Predator would have been versus what it was. And thank Jesus, because The Predator is one of the most instrumental movies in American history.
Mm-hmm.
So to this company who made this mantis looking suit, ice up.
Ice up.
Yeah.
Let me on the podcast, Greg. Put me in, coach.
Dude, you're actually making me want to think about doing the Predator pretty soon. We're doing Indiana Jones after we finish Lord of the Rings. And then I think the Predator is a great way to go. So
I love the Predator, man.
Together and do Game of Thrones. Have you
Dude, I watched the first episode of Game of Thrones, and it wasn't bad, but afterwards, I was just like,
you cannot. I did for years. I didn't watch Game of Thrones because I watched the first episode, and years later, I didn't. I still wasn't. And then all of a sudden, somebody told me, they're like, "You have to get past that.
It's so overrated.
2 to 3 episodes in, and then you get hooked." I disagree.
It's good. It's good. It's not great. It's good. It's not great.
It's great. Hush. Go over there. No, it is good. It is. You have to.
The only thing is great is that blonde chick. Oh my god.
Do you have to get past season 1? By the end,
the dragon chick. I'm so into the dragon chick, man.
One who owns Khaleesi? Is that her name?
Oh gosh.
I know that much.
Daenerys, Khaleesi, whatever you want to call her.
Love her. And the person I hate the most is also hot.
Cersei?
Yeah.
No, it means Jamie.
No, shut the fuck.
I thought he was gonna say Jason Momoa. I wasn't sure. I was like, wait a second.
That was mad funny, but you're wrong.
No.
If that was Cam Newton playing that, then yes. But
It wasn't.
no.
Yeah. My bad. Not dark enough to.
So was it? It wasn't the.
I actually liked all. Actually, here, going back to this, I think we said this on the show at one point, Cody. Is that, do you remember when the witch went from new to old? Like she was from gorgeous to. I was like, I can't unsee that because I was so into her. I was so fucking into that, which is nerdy. I shouldn't even be saying this. Why am I saying this on the internet? Like how into these motherfucking chicks I am.
Oh yeah, I'm the opposite. Ever since I saw that, that's the only thing I can get off on.
So now you just look at dusty old bitch porn. Is that what you Google? Dusty old bitch porn.
Tony, Mark, 2 hours and 30 minutes is when you're going to be needing to start editing this.
Yeah. It was Cody that said it, not me, man. Don't worry. If you watched it 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you're doing your due diligence, folks. All right, let's get out of here.
I love them wrinkles, folks.
Yo.
Everybody has their
He
kicks,
said
right?
this. He loved the folds.
Yeah, let me find
Let me find them folds. All right.
let me open up them flaps.
My name is not Tony Dunn. This is the C3 Panthers podcast. It's brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. The number is 252-228-5098. You can follow me on Twitter at cat_chronicles. Cody Lasney, Mr. Man of Flaps and Folds. How can they find you?
Joe Riolano says roast beef for curtains.
Oh, did you see? Actually, there was a homeboy. Some guy put up a tweet, and we know him. Like, we see his tweets all the time because, we see the same Panther Nation tweets. And he said, that girl had to know what was up. And it was like she was on TV, and she had these stretch pants on or whatever. And somebody said this is, can you fix the couch cushions or something like that? It was like somebody needs to fix the couch cushions. It was so messed up. Oh, my
dude.
boy Joe. Man, Joe, I'm coming to see you once this Corona is gone.
Yep.
All right,
But
Greg, where you doing podcasts at, homie? You got like 7.
Man, I'm doing them all over the place. You can find me at the Super Civil Servants podcast, the main one that I run. We drop shows on Monday mornings. Just hit 1 year last week. We're going live in 2 weeks because my computer is getting here next week, I think, or maybe sometime. As soon as it does, we're going live. And then I've got a new show, the DC Alliance podcast. It's an all DC based show. It's going to be part of the Geek Universe podcast, or Geek Ultimate Alliance podcast network, where you're going to, if you subscribe to that network, you'll be able to find all the geek stuff you want. We're dropping a show one day every week. So 5 days a week, you can get new shows on the network. Check us out.
Cody Lashney, you still Cripple Connection, getting a little video game action in?
Every Friday with my man Jeffrey. It's a video game podcast. We talk about everything new going on in the video game industry. You can hit me up on Twitter at Cody Lack. And by the way, I'm just joking. Don't send me pictures of like beef curtains and shit. I don't want to
I'm not joking. You better send it to him right away.
If I wanted to look up an old wrinkled woman, I don't need your help to do it. So don't
worry. You are toast.
By the way, you see what I did there, right? Now I'm getting them to send it.
Oh, yeah. I know. Reverse psychology. CK. Don't follow CK on Twitch then.
Yeah.
It gets weird. It
actually doesn't. You didn't get my ass up there, and it will get weird.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that has the most to lose. Get me in there, coach. I'm ready to fight people. I get mad.
We have a good time. I will say this much. Not a single listener of the C3 Panthers podcast has come to follow me. So I'm just saying, guys. I'm gonna. All right,
can we say this at the beginning of the show next time?
Maybe. I don't know. That's all right. We can do whatever.
Because I have to listen 3 hours to get to this comment. That is a big check mark to
those are the fans you want, the committed ones, you know?
Yeah. We're talking to ourselves at this point.
Yeah, right. I honestly, I think we're probably the majority of the viewers left at this point.
Lies,
I
lies.
don't know about you guys.
I get a lot. We got a lot. I got a lot of tweets about JCVD, and we did not talk about him till the end. All right, so at Codizzle Allen _
Allen. Yep.
Look, check us out. I have some time off. I'm gonna make Cody's skip work, and we're gonna play video games. all fucking day. We did it the other day. Don't tell his wife. Don't tell his boss. Oh, got caught.
Okay, Joey's asking what your Twitch handle is. Go ahead and put
It's at Codizzle_Allen. It's CODIZZLEALLEN.
Can we go get a round in tonight, homie?
Hey,
Or are you gonna
and
go
while
to
I
sleep?
say,
You
I
look
do
sleepy.
play with CK sometimes. I
Yes.
do play with CK, but it is really fun, even if you're not playing, just to watch. It's a fun time.
Because
So
he's going to
go
be
check him
like,
out.
in a world where Tony Dunn sucks dick at Warzone.
Yeah, that's the game plan. Yeah, that's
Damn! He was supposed to say it was better than
maybe
it.
Maybe Tony can distract him with his fellatio. And
Damn! This show is over.
Meat curtains and fellatio and all kinds of stuff.
You're off the rails, dude.
Let me hide behind the beef curtains and just
what's going on?
Yeah, there's a rave behind CK, and I'm.
Oh, Joe wants it too. All right, Joe Riolano, my man, dude. I'm telling you, Joe, I need to see you, homeboy, my man. Miss you so much. He says Twitch handle. What's the Twitch handle? It is at Codizzle, CODIZI.
Hold on one second. Let me go to the YouTube.
Codizzle Allen. Type it in the comment section.
Follow this guy, man. It's good
Because some people think it's Cod Dizzle, and he is a Cod Dizzle. This motherfucker be racking up kills like
insult.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
carries the team.
Let me do it this way. Hold on. I can probably do it better here.
Why don't you just play video games as we go to sleep?
What's that?
I said, why don't you just play video games as we go to sleep and watch?
No, I'm not gonna. I think my schedule. I think I'm gonna do my schedule as Mondays.
You have
and
to stream
Wednesday
more.
Mornings.
I
think I'm gonna try to get a schedule.
Homie.
I'm gonna do Monday and Wednesday mornings at 8:30 to 10. And then Friday evenings, Saturday evenings, and maybe
You need a late night drunk stream.
Yeah, that's my thing. I'm gonna try to keep it
late night drunk stream.
After my son goes to bed, for sure. Maybe like a 10 o'clock stream on a regular basis.
Your
Friday and
son
Saturday.
probably should drink booze with us.
What's that?
I was saying your son should probably drink booze with us.
I think so. Where I don't drink, I think I might for the stream start to do that.
Dad, you just all right. Let's get the fuck out of here. All right, it's the C3 Panthers podcast. The number is 252-228-5098. Smash the thumbs up button. Share the show with a friend, and remember, keep pounding, even if you are 2 and 14 or what'd you say, Greg? Like 9 and 7 or something.
5 and 12 or 6 and.
Oh, you're still losing your bet. Ha ha! Give me your money.
I told you I didn't
Give me
say
your
win 6.
money.
You know,
All right.
Look,